Record. And we are recording, so excited. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is our second one-day United Nations retreat, and our first one was in February and it was amazing. I'm so excited that you guys are on with us. If you send out a message, let all your consultants know. If they're not on or they're not gathering in your living room, let them know. Hop on right now. You don't want to miss out. This is going to be amazing. Guys, I've seen the agenda, and it's a rock star agenda. Everything you need to know to grow a very successful business is going to be shared today. So if your goal is to have a stage walk at GTC 2020, where it's my absolute favorite theme, flourish. If you want to walk the stage at our 40th anniversary, you're going to learn everything you need to know today. Plug into this, turn it into activity, and you're going to rock and roll. But we got to get started. So I'm so excited to introduce our first speaker, one of my dear friends and somebody I look up to, Executive National Vice President Heidi Niss. Heidi, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you.
Okay. Well, hello. I do have to say I'm officially Heidi Sow. But we met when I was Heidi Niss. So thank you so much, Beth. And good to see all of you ladies and guys on here. Thanks so much for taking your day and joining us. Hold on, I'm going to ask my timekeeper. Could you let me know when I'm at 11:15? Okay. This is my trusted timekeeper. Some of you might know him, Basamba, National Vice President of my hubby. So I get to talk with you a little bit today about just the Arbonne culture and who we are, not just the company, but this group of people that we are a part of right now. And so I just took the word Arbonne and I broke it down in a, what's it called? Acronym, right? Yes. So I'm going to get right to it. So the first thing when I think about Arbonne, I think that we are a people that are ambitious. You wouldn't have started unless you had big things, big goals, big dreams, big things that you were working for. You're people that look at a goal and maybe it makes you a little bit afraid, but you're willing to step out of your comfort zone. You're willing to learn new things. We all come into this business at different levels, right? Like everything you've done in your life up until now, you can pick and choose from each of the things that you've done, and it will help you grow your business in Arbonne. So how many of you have ever done waitressing? Anybody ever done waitressing? Okay. As a waitress, maybe you have to serve people that aren't always pleasant. Do you know there will be times in Arbonne when we serve people that it's not always pleasant, right? Maybe any of you used to clean houses? Any house cleaners on here? Okay, so there was a time that I was cleaning other people's houses. And I learned to get the job done the quickest, to be the most efficient, and to do a good job so I would have a good name for myself so people would refer me to other people. How many of you ever work in a daycare, any child care service, watching other people's kids? Okay. I also did that. With that, there's a huge responsibility in caring for other people's children. And in this business too, we also have a huge responsibility for caring for others. So everything that you have done in life, I'm sure you can link it back to, I can take what I've done in the past and help me in my Arbonne business. So the first thing is we're ambitious people. I would encourage you guys today to write down just 3 big goals that you have for yourself and your business and your organization. Look at the next, what do we have, 60 some days left, I think, in the year, in this decade. What do you want to accomplish in this decade? You know what Arbonne has done for me? It's made me set goals now instead of holding off for a New Year's resolution. Because how many of you have about this time of year started to say to yourself, when January 1st comes around, I'm going to do this. Any of you? My New Year's resolution is going to be, but what Arbonne does for you is it starts to have you think, what can I accomplish before the new year? So that's another question I would like to ask you all is, what do you want to accomplish before the new year? And then what do you want to accomplish by GTC? And then what do you want to accomplish by the end of 2020? So just write those 3 things down. And when you write them down, they should be big and bold enough that you're like, is that even possible? That's what it looks like to be ambitious. The next thing is R, we're responsible. So all these names here, Kelly, Jacqueline, Lynette, Heather, Aga, and Isabel, hi ladies, and Mary, God bless you. You ladies represent me. Oops, bless you. Hold on. Beth, can you help me manage participants and mute? If you're not muted, that would be good. At least it was a sneeze and not the other end, right? Time out. Yep. Let me just mute somebody. Okay, I can't. So Beth, if you could help me manage some participants, that would be great.
Against the wall, and we.
Sorry, I got muted on accident. Okay. Anyways, I think we'll be okay. So you represent not just your business, but you represent my business as well. And so not that we're going to be perfect all of the time, but be careful how you're representing Arbonne, because it is a reflection on me as well. So this is how we conduct ourselves on social media. It's how we choose to live our life. It's words we say, it's actions we do. And so learning to be responsible, because in this business, you are going to be entrusted with, I think, the most valuable thing ever. And Carlita said this one time, that being a steward, God talks about being a good steward. It's not just talking about money. It's talking about resources, but also anything that's been handed to you. And one is, in this business, you're exposed to a lot of people. And so being responsible also looks like doing right by them with this business opportunity. So how many people do you see at presentations? Do you see every day? Or maybe friends or family that you look at that you've not presented this Arbonne opportunity yet? Because it's so easy for us to get in our own way and start to think, what are they going to think about us? And really that's just not responsible, because we are responsible to offer this opportunity to other people. So we are responsible people. B is, we believe in others and their possibility. So when you look at other people, sometimes, I don't know if anybody can relate, but sometimes in the beginning of my business, I had a hard time believing it all for myself, believing that I could be a region, believing that I could be a nation. But I would look at these people that I'd meet and people that would start on my team, and I certainly believed it for them. And as a result of pouring belief into others, I started to believe for myself that it was possible. And so when you look at people, whether they tell you 1, 2, 10, or 20 times, this is the year, this is my month, you need to believe it for them. Don't allow any cynicism to ever creep in. Also, when we believe in for others and their possibility, this leaves grace to grow. I am so thankful that my upline and my sideline MVP sisters have not kept me where I was when I started 14 years ago, that they've let me evolve and become the woman that I am today. And so let people evolve and become the women and men that they are going to be as a result of the growth that they have in this business. O is overcomer. So we are at Arbonne, in our culture, we are overcomers. But here's what I want to encourage you. we don't have a lot of things that are challenging that we need to overcome in Arbonne. So redefine what you think is an obstacle. Redefine what you think is a problem or that's an issue. Because parties canceling, people returning a product, people quitting your business, someone saying, oh, you're doing one of those pyramids. These are not obstacles. These are normal and they're part of it. What we have to work on becoming is an overcomer of our mind, an overcomer of our own self-doubt, and an overcomer of any type of self-pity that could creep in. Be not a victim, but be an overcomer and more than a conqueror. N is noble. And noble just means character of high moral. And I was looking at moral, and the definition of that is concerned with the principles of right and wrong behavior and the goodness of human character. So often we talk about personal development. I need to grow as a leader, and I need to read this and this and this and this and this, which all of that is true, but work on becoming a good human and having the concept of what are the right things and the best things for me to do and how to conduct myself in this business and in my life. And if you're somebody who thinks on these things, leadership, caring for your team, creating community and culture will fall into place when you're going to be responsible and caring for your own actions and your own behavior. The next N is noteworthy. So deserves to be noted is what that means. Do you know that as a result of you doing this business, you are impacting other people's lives? And not just one life, it's a generational thing. So when I look at, because I can see her name on here. When I look at Jen Pollitt was introduced to Arbonne from Lisa Hamilton. And what happened is Lisa was faithful with her business and doing the right next thing and overcoming her lack of belief or overcoming her fear, overcoming any self-doubt, picking herself back up. And because she continued to do that, she met Jen and introduced the business to Jen. Jen has continued to do all those same things and work through all of those same things and has built a huge organization, has impacted her children's life. But now Jen, because of her decision to stay faithful and committed, has changed Poland. Arbonne is taking over Poland. That's all I can say. Aga, Dorota, now Anita's in qualification. I can't even keep up with the people that are promoting. You're changing the course of history for a country. This is how big it can be. It actually gives me goosebumps. So we are impacting other people's lives. And then E is we're ethical. We do the right thing, even if it doesn't feel like it's best for us. Because sometimes you have to make a decision, what is going to be best for the other person. So here are some words that should never cross your lips. Oh, well, we're faster. Our team's faster. And, oh, I'm local. You should sign up direct to me, not that person. Oh, I can get you everything a little bit cheaper. What we should say is, hey, before we dive into having this conversation a little bit more, are you working with another consultant? Don't always take everybody's word for it, right? So what I mean by that is if you have a customer or somebody who's coming to you complaining about another consultant, give that other consultant the benefit of the doubt first. Because I sure hope that when I have somebody who complains about me, I have somebody that gives me the benefit of the doubt first. So do unto others as you want done to you. And if we apply that in business, we don't ever have to have the conversation about what it looks like to work our business and to work it with good ethics. So that's Arbonne. That's who we are. That's our culture. We're ambitious people. We're responsible for this opportunity that we've been given to pass it down to other people. We're believers in other people's potential and their possibilities and work to see their best and give them grace to grow. We're an overcomer. We're noble, noteworthy, and work our business being ethical. So thanks, guys, for this opportunity to be able to share with you. I think that I get to introduce to you our next speaker, dear friend, the amazing National Vice President, talking to us on vision, Val Makowitz.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay? I hope you can hear me and see me. Awesome. Thanks. Well, thank you so much, Heidi Stow. That was absolutely incredible. And culture is one of the reasons I decided to join this business because it was so logical. It didn't make sense not to do. And because after I joined, I just got to see and experience the integrity and all of those things that you just talked about. And that's why I started and that's why I stay. So thank you for sharing that. I'm here to talk about vision today. And it excites me because vision was something I struggled with. Do you ever find yourself saying things like that about things in this business? I struggle with vision, or I struggle with whatever. Vision was something I used to say that I struggled with. And then I learned to change the story. The story isn't that we struggle with things. The story is that we're learning more about it. We're growing in that skill. And vision is something that I'm growing in and that I have grown in. So vision, I'm going to first just give a little explainer about what it really means for you and your business. And then I'm going to give you a little assignment. And vision is essentially what you see and how well you see it. If you just keep it that simple, you'll be able to have and hold on to that. So as a little exercise first, we're going to do a little vision warm up. And what I want you all to do, I see some of you are together in a group, some of you are by yourself, some of you might watch the recording later. But what I want you to do is I want you to just take a moment, close your eyes. Everyone close your eyes. Nope, I'm going to wait. You got to close your eyes. I hope you trust the person next to you. Hold your purse. Just kidding. Close your eyes for a moment. And I need you, I'm a little hard to hear. I hope I'm loud. Maybe I'll just talk louder. I got no problem being loud. Okay, close your eyes, relax. And what you want to do is I want you to picture yourself leaving this training, whether you're walking out of the room that you're going to be in, whether you're leaving an event that you're at right now. At the end of this training, when all is said and done, I want you to picture yourself at the end of this one-day event, getting into your car or walking out of the room or whatever. And I want you to visualize yourself holding your full notebook full of notes from all these trainers. I want you to be holding a pen that's almost running out of ink because of everything that you learned and taken in. I want you to put your hand over your chest and your heart, and I want you to just feel how full it is, right? From everything that you're going to take away from this day, everything you took away. I want you to put your hands on your head. And I want you to feel your brain just packed to the max, full of ideas, encouragement, motivation, and the things that you need to grow. And then I want you to open your hands open up and just open them up, because you are going to walk out of this. You're going to have so much that you're going to be equipped with in your business. There will be nothing that you need and nothing that you lack, so that you can go out there and put all of this into activity and motion, because you are going to leave today as a better and more experienced consultant than you were when you walked in. Okay, open your eyes. Guys, that's vision. That's vision, and that's how simple it can be. And now that you have a vision for yourself walking out of here, let's talk about the bigger vision that you can have for your business. So we said vision is what you see and how well you see it. And the first thing I want to tell you, what doesn't matter when it comes to vision, it doesn't matter where you're starting from. Okay, because we can see things not by, we don't have to be at a certain space or in a certain area to see something, right? We know that about the internet, like we have access to everything. You have access to something called imagination, and you have access to something called internet. So literally wherever you are in the whole world, you can see whatever it is that you're trying to see. So if you're a brand new consultant, you can see nation. You can choose to see nation. If you're a regional vice president, you can choose to see a $500,000 organization and an ENVP 5-wide. You don't have to just see the next thing. Because I think sometimes before we decide to have vision for where we're going and what we're doing, we feel like it has to be based on where we are And that can sometimes cause us to have small vision. And so to have big vision, I just want you to decide to use your imagination and be willing to go as far as your mind and your eye is willing to take you. So the first thing of what we see, this is, so my example for this is like, if you've ever been to the Grand Canyon, I don't know, how many of you guys have ever been to the Grand Canyon, or you've been to some like 7 World Wonders, or maybe I think even Disney World. If you've been to Disney World or Disneyland, like something really cool like that. If you've ever been, so the Grand Canyon is the example I'll give because my in-laws went to the Grand Canyon, and just the way they explained it and described the whole experience, it made so much sense to me. It reminds me of the vision that we try to carry and grow in our business. So say you had to drive across the country to the Grand Canyon. The vision is the Grand Canyon and getting there, right? What can happen sometimes is we know we're going to get to the Grand Canyon, and we get there because we're focused on the vision, right? Could you imagine how difficult and daunting it would be to get to the Grand Canyon, to see the amazingness of it, if you were looking at every mile marker you passed along the way? Do you guys know what a mile marker is? It's a little green square, and it just says how far you came, how far you came. Do you know how defeated you would be feeling like always being reminded of how much further you have to go? I think what can happen in our business is we only have vision for the mile marker that's up ahead. And what can happen is that we're kind of fixating on the wrong thing along the way. We have to keep our eyes on the vision. We have to keep looking at the picture of the Grand Canyon. We have to keep hearing the stories about how beautiful it is and how breathtaking, and about taking the donkey all around the little walking area, whatever that is, the scary path that's like this big, and you're riding a donkey and people think that's fun. I don't think that's fun, but some of you do, so I'm speaking to all of you. It's fun for me to watch those people do that. But anyway, I want you to make sure and ask yourself, am I staring at the mile marker? Is there something I'm staring at as a mile marker? And maybe it's right on the way, almost heading into the Grand Canyon, but you can't take your eyes off of it. Sometimes it's a title. I call it title idle, where you don't realize, you think the vision is VP, but because you're treating it as a mile marker, you're missing the vision of what it's going to be and everything that it has for you, because you're looking at the letters. RVP or NVP. If you can think of titles as mile markers and think of the life that you want to have and the person you want to be and the fruits of that level that you're trying to reach, if you can think of that, that is the view. That is the Grand Canyon, not the 3 letters. I hope that releases some of you to have bigger vision, to not miss the Grand Canyon because we're fixated on the mile markers. So the next part of vision we know is how well you see it. So what are the things that can impede our vision or corrode, sort of compromise our vision? I have my glasses up here. There's a good visual. What are things that can compromise our vision? Sometimes it's what we know, it's like heredity, right? Literally your vision, it's just genetically and heredity. Some of you guys might have just negative mindsets or things in life and in your surroundings or how you were raised or people being critical or whatever. Some of you might feel like you just have inherited this lack of vision. But I'm here to tell you, there's corrective lenses. So we're not going to let that be an excuse anymore. But sometimes we can feel like we just inherited small vision or whatever it is that holds us back from seeing more for our lives. Sometimes fog can impede our vision, right? And what do you need for fog? You need special lights. You need clear, you need light. You need joy. You need to be at a certain angle, right? That's how fog lights work. That's how you can have vision in the fog. These are the things that you have to be willing to grab and create for your business. So wherever you feel like there's a distraction or a fog or something like that, that's keeping you from having the vision that you're trying to see for yourself, for your family, for your future, we want to make sure that we're removing that, because vision, all the vision is what we see and how well we see it. So, and the vision is the view, not the mile marker. So create that vision for yourself. How do we do that? Here's your assignment. You're going to make a list. Guys, I get goosebumps when I talk about this because I start to think about what I can see for myself and my incredible team. And I start to picture the people I haven't met yet. And some of them look funny. And some of them, I just know, like, it's just, you want it to keep getting bigger and bigger and include more people. And that's what I want you to see. I want you to see people, because that is what your vision has to entail, who you are and who are the people that you're going to be helping along the way. So, all right, here's your assignment. Make a list of what you see in the view. What do you see in the view of the place that you're trying to get in this business? What do you see? Do you see, are you sitting at a table doing bills and you are trying to figure out what to do with everything that's left over, right? Do you see yourself, shouting on Dave Ramsey, we're debt free, or whatever? Like, create that detailed view. But what I want you to do is I want you to write down, I want you to describe the view in full detail. Is it a house that you're really wanting to build? Is it, I know a lot of us are working out of debt and we might be students and things like that. So just like, what does the view of that look like? What does that allow you? How can you see that and not just say, we don't have debt, but what does it look like when you don't have debt? What does it look like? And when you can have that clarity of that, you start to paint yourself in that and tell yourself and imagine the day when that's going to happen. Like it just happened for a couple people on my team who have recently paid off student loans and things like that. But the vision is the view, and you need to make a list of what you want to see in that view. Describe it to yourself. And the second thing you want to do is you got to claim it. And that means out loud, and that means proud, and that means painting yourself in that spot. So many of you are consultants, districts, areas on here. And so your assignment is to make a video, because we all need to get better and more confident in telling our story. Our whole business is based on the stories of why this works, how this works, and how it will help other people. We're painting Arbonne into people's stories, but you have to be confident in telling where yours is going to land, right? You have to be telling and what the pages to come are going to be, because people follow people who know where they're going. And so you have to be communicating that through your vision. So claim it, make a video, and you're going to be and you're going to be telling, this video is for you, and you're willing to share it with whoever you want. And the video is you telling yourself that you have arrived at this view. You've arrived at your vision. You've arrived in the view, and you can see it and you can smell it. And what does it seem like? So for some of you, it's going to be, okay, my name, if I was even a brand new consultant, I would say, hi everyone, my name is Valerie Makowitz, and I am a brand new regional vice president with Arbonne. And some of you have different personalities. Some of you are going to be like, I'm VP, y'all. But that's my personality, is just to be, I'm regional vice president. We did it. Team, I have the most incredible team in the world. We're popping areas. We just popped so many areas like crazy. And there are 2 girls on my team who are going to be the next regional vice presidents, and they're coming right up. And so we're headed to nation, but today we're celebrating. I'm a brand new regional vice president. And I'm so proud of the journey that got us here. It's been a wild one, but what I can see and what I can feel, I feel the joy of being able to tell my team how proud I am of them. I can, and also guys, you want to picture like where, oops, someone's not muted. You want to picture like, where are you sitting when you become a regional vice president or national vice president or whatever? Where are you sitting? What are you wearing? What does it smell like? Is there things knocked over on the table because you were just entering all your closed night orders, right? I want you to describe it in your say, it was a whirlwind night. We just made it over the line. Like, create the video telling yourself that you are a VP or whatever, and describe the view. Describe the view of what you see and what you know is going to be happening for you and your family, your finances, your time, and the things that are ahead. So thank you guys for having me, and I get to introduce the most incredible Beth Gallardi to you all. And if you don't know her, I'm glad you get to now. So thank you guys so much for talking about vision with me.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Val. You guys, I am like trying to find, okay, here we go. I'm hunkered down in another bedroom in my house, and I am so excited to talk to you guys about having a powerful I story. This is quite frankly one of my favorite things to talk about and help people with. So if you've never asked me for help on this, feel free to send me a box, because it is just something I enjoy doing. I don't know, it's just one of those things I love. So Why do we want to have a powerful I story? And you know what? Some of you maybe haven't sat down to really work on an I story yet. So I hope that after today you do, after we make our vision video that Val just shared. So there's a few reasons why you want to have a powerful I story. Why? Because it's a key part of our presentation. Whether we're standing in front of a group of people at an in-home event, whether we're talking on a Facebook event, whether we're standing in front of a Discover Arbonne, you want to always have your I story down, and you want to be confident, and you want to practice it, and you want to know it. I feel like my entire team could recite my I story verbatim because they've heard it so many different times. You also want to be like, anytime you meet somebody in public and you're talking to somebody and they ask you what you do and they ask you why you do it, you want it to be able to roll off your tongue just like anything else. So you want to have it in there. And you also want to be able to customize it. And I'm going to kind of share what I mean by that. It's, for example, like I arrive early at any event I do, any party that I do, I arrive at least 30 minutes early. And I'm doing a fit and facial, and I'm in the bathroom, and I'm talking with every single person. I'm asking them how they know the host. I'm asking them what they do for a living. I'm getting to know them. I'm not really saying a whole lot about me because I want to be interested and not interesting. So that's why I love that time. That's really the magic time for me, is that 30 minutes of getting to know all the folks that are there. And when I do that, I might discover that every single person that's sitting there is a coworker of my friend who's the host, and they're all nurses. So at that moment, I'm making some tweaks to my I story. So my I story will still roll out the way it will, but I will insert Carlita's story or Kim Ford on my team's story or Whitney Hain on I will insert other nurses' stories to make it relatable to the group. Because if I just stood up and talked about being a homeschool mom who was a pastor's wife and who also stayed at home with my kids, I might not relate to that crowd whatsoever. So that's why you want to have your I story down, so that when you need to tweak it on a dime, it's going to be good. So here's some key questions. So in your notes, I want to make sure you guys write down these 5 questions, because these are the 5 questions I ask everybody. And I mean it, guys. If you want to Vox me an answer to these questions just to see how I would compile an I story, I mean, obviously check with your VP first, but it's just something fun that I like to do. So here's the first question. What's your name and what do you do for a living? And if you, let's say you have been staying at home with your kids for a couple of years, but previous to that, you were an attorney. So you could talk about, in my previous life, before having kids, I was an attorney. It just brings it in full circle. And I always think it's important to note those things too. So your name, what you do for a living, is the first question you're going to answer. And you guys, when you're answering these questions, you don't need a paragraph. A couple of sentences is good, because that's going to help you come up with your I story. The second one is, how were you introduced to Arbonne? So was it at a group presentation? Was it somebody on Instagram that reached out to you? Was it, how were you introduced to Arbonne? Was it a mom at school or a dad at church? How were you introduced to Arbonne is what that next question is going to be. The third one is, what did you initially think? Like, what were your fears and hesitations? Like, what was rolling through your head? I can tell you what was rolling through mine, but I'm going to share my I story in a minute so you guys can hear it. But what was rolling through your head? Like, what were your first thoughts? You know, when I'm standing in front of a group presentation and sharing my I story and talking to folks, I actually believe everybody there wants to do the business with me. Like, I think they all do, because once they try the products and once they hear how they have help and this amazing business, like, why wouldn't they? But what starts to happen is fears and hesitations roll in, and it stops them in their tracks. And so that's why, like, for me, I like to ask everybody at the close table, have you ever thought about doing something like this? Because most people will tell me no, but I did think about a few things that you said. And so in that moment, guys, that's what I believe. They all have those. Those are the same fears and hesitations I had. Mine were so strong that I didn't even listen to what Carlita said about the business. I was like, let me think about anything else than what she's saying right now. So the next question is, what made you decide to actually join? So what was it? What key thing happened in your life that helped you connect the dots, that you went from no to yes, I'm all in? And then the last question is, what have you accomplished so far, and what do you hope to accomplish? So what are your goals for the future with Arbonne? So really quick, I'm going to run over the questions real fast. Your name and what you do for a living. The second one is, how were you introduced to Arbonne? The third one is, what do you initially think, your fears and hesitations, etc. The fourth one is, what made you decide to join that got you over that hump? And then the last one is, what have you accomplished so far and what do you hope to accomplish? Like, what are your goals with Arbonne? And then what I want you guys to do is today, sometime today, if you don't already have an iStory that you feel confident about, and guys, just newsflash, like, we don't want our iStory to be 15 minutes. We don't want our iStory to be 10 minutes. We don't even want our iStory to be 5 minutes. Your iStory should be 3 minutes or less. It is a powerful part of your presentation because it is truly how we connect. And when people hear that you have fears and hesitations too, they relate. It's that whole feel, felt, found. When people know, if somebody like thought I was like, and I feel, because I'm almost 16 years in Arbonne, I am a professional with Arbonne, but I'm not perfect and I make mistakes. And when they hear my story that I had those hesitations too, that's how people connect. And so it's so important, guys, that you practice. So decide today if you don't already have this, or maybe you don't feel like yours is solid or good and you need some work on it, reach out to your VP, but answer these questions and send them a Vox. Like, share what you would do and ask them what they think. And if you do it on Voxer, it's so great because you can replay it back and back and back because it's recorded, which is what I love. But share it as much times as you possibly can. You guys get used to it. I'm going to share mine real quick and I'm going to pass this off. So when I'm at a presentation, I always ask everybody to tell me what is, if they could do, if time and money were not an issue, what's one thing they would do today? I always ask for just one. And then once they go through all that, I'm like, hey, thank you so much for telling me a little bit about you. I'd love to tell you a few things about me and how I got started in Arbonne. I was actually first introduced to Arbonne in ODark 100, or it feels like it, December of 2003. I was invited to a friend's house where there were 25 guys and girls. It was really crazy and chaotic, lots of kids running around. I had never heard of Arbonne before, and quite honestly, my friend told me they were making homemade Mexican food, so that's why my husband and I came. And then she told me to bring my husband. I'm like, I have never brought my husband to a home party, but I'm really curious what this product is. I listened to what she had to say about the products and being a label reader. Guys, I mean, today people are taking products and reading the labels in Target. But back then, and I lived in Oklahoma at the time, back then people weren't reading labels. So this was a new concept to me. So I was excited to get home and read my labels. When she talked about the business, quite frankly, that's where I kind of tuned her out because, you know, there was no way I was going to do something like this because it meant standing in front of a crowd of people I didn't know. And it also meant selling something. So those are my biggest hesitations about doing this. But there was a funny thing that happened on the ride home that night. And my husband told me I should do Arbonne. And I'm like, you're crazy. I'm not going to do this. And those are my words, guys. I wasn't sweet and nice about it. I was like, no, that ain't happening. And my husband at the time, guys, was working 3 different jobs, and he was a senior pastor for a church, a chaplain for a sheriff's department, an electrician on his days off and sometimes evenings. And sure, I felt I wanted to help him out, but an extra $500 a month would give him 1 day off a week guaranteed. And guys, I listed off all my hesitations to him. I've never sold anything. That gal Carlita was super outgoing and funny. Like, that's not me. Like, anytime I get in front of new crowds, I clam up and get really shy. So I thought, there's just no way. What are people going to think of me? I mean, those are the things that I shared with my husband, and my husband just looked at me and he's like, you need to think outside the box. She said she can teach and train you, and you need to pray about it. And guys, you know, here I am today, and I am so grateful that my husband helped me connect the dots to see what was possible, because not only has this business blessed my life, it's blessed so many others, and it's blessed my kids' life, and I am just so excited to see what the future holds. But I am looking for folks who are ready for a change. I mean, who in this room would love to have and drive a Mercedes paid for by Arbonne? If you are one of those, or if you're just looking to make some extra money, I would love to chat with you afterwards. But enough about me, let's get talking about the products. So guys, hopefully you got to see kind of a little bit of my iStory, how I talked about how I was introduced, what were my thoughts, my hesitations, what changed was that conversation with my husband and really, really soul searching and praying about it. And then of course, what I've accomplished and what I'm hoping to accomplish. I really don't throw my title in there too often. That's not usually what I say. And as oftentimes some people ask me if I actually drive the white Mercedes, and then their friend will go, well, didn't you see it outside? It was out there. So it's not something I usually toss around. And because I want people to get to know me and see what is possible. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this call over to Miss Melissa Mercer, a great friend of mine. So Melissa, it's all yours.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, excellent. Thank you. Let me press my little timer. All right, I get to share today about scheduling events. So I'm really excited to share this with you because this is something that over the years had a lot of experience and a lot of fear and a lot of learning. So I have a few points to share with you in this. And the first one is to really know why you're doing it. Why are you going to take the time to schedule those events? You have to have that valid reason to push yourself out of that comfort zone and get uncomfortable and to make that ask. And sometimes it's not just the facts that we need to know. It's not just like, oh, I'm doing it because I know I need to talk to 40 faces, or I'm working to get 8 events. You have to have that deep desire and decision and say, I am doing it because. And then you list out those reasons why. I specifically do this. I did it at the beginning of my business, middle, I do it now because I'm thinking, okay, why do I want to have these events on my calendar? And on my calendar, I actually have my why listed. These are my goals. These are my reasons why I need to have these events. Okay, so second thing, know also it doesn't happen overnight. And I think this is one that we really need to make sure that we hold on to it and say, okay, one day is not going to wreck your business. 1 week or even a month is not going to wreck your business. We have to say, I'm in for the long haul. I'm doing this now and every day. Not just now and then I'm done. Or, oh my gosh, I didn't do well booking parties yesterday, therefore I'm quitting. That's something that we just want to make sure we're living and we're training to everybody. One day doesn't wreck your business. We need to just keep going. A good example of this is the hot potato challenge. In my nation right now is in the midst of a hot potato. We're on day 2. And you know what? The success or failure of that hot potato does not determine your business. Just the sheer fact alone that you said, I'm doing it and I'm working on getting a full calendar is what's important. It's your belief, it's your mindset, it's your head saying, I am working on getting a full calendar. And no matter what, when you set yourself up for that, you will book events. I know sometimes we're asking, and we're like, come on, get back to me. And we keep asking. And then 3 days later, all of a sudden, they're going to say yes or whatever. So the work you're going to do today sometimes doesn't show up right away. Okay, so what to do? Open your calendar. And if your calendar does not reflect what you want to have on it, that means we need to get to work. And you guys, I've had it a lot where I open my calendar month after month and I'm like, oh, Melissa, you need to get your rear in gear and get this going, because without activity, without events, without us sharing with people, we don't have a business. Because that's the kind of business we are. We're person to person. Hey, I want you to see my product. I want you to use it. I'd love to share this business with you. And if we're not scheduling those meetings and those appointments, you're not going to grow your business. Okay, so point number 3, work on your list of names. You know what? If you're brand new, if you've been in this business for years, this is what we have to do. We always work on that list of names and we keep adding to it. We periodically go through our phone, Facebook, parent list, friends list, past ICs, past PCs, clients, hostesses. You have to start somewhere and you just have to start. I think that's the biggest thing. So you write that list of names and you keep writing. And the goal is to get new names. Just so you know, I think somebody's on. Actually, Philip Nelson, I think you're unmuted. So, okay, I'm going to keep going because my clock is ticking. Okay, the goal on your list of names, and the goal is always to get new names and new people. You do not want to keep recycling the same people over and over and over. That is a terrible, terrible valley to fall into. We want new names and new people. Sometimes we need to recycle those old people and say, hey, could you have a little get together for me? If you have 5 people there who I don't know, I will bring you a separate gift, or I'll bring you something extra. So if you think you've run out of people, you haven't. You totally haven't. You really need to decide how badly you want success. That's really it. And that decision comes from you and nobody else. And do not listen to those excuses that go on in your head. What you have to do at that time, go back to the why. Why am I doing this? What do I need this for? Get angry and tenacious and get out of the house. When you do that, when you get out of the house, you need to plan and prepare. And I'm not saying that you need to, oh my gosh, I have to all my ducks in a row. I need 20 samples and I need to have all this ready. That's not it. You need to have your mental game on, that you're out always looking for new people. I'm meeting new people. You guys, I've actually even written that down as a goal on my calendar. You would laugh. Melissa, be kind, be nice, and meet new people. Because I have a tendency to be like this when I'm on a mission. But we need to remember, when we're like this, we need to open up, because our mission is all around us in the people that we come in contact with. So don't worry if you don't have samples and stuff. Just get out to meet new people. Here's the interesting thing. When you decide to do this and set a goal to increase, you will in ways you did not expect. You'll be like, oh my gosh, I booked a party, but it wasn't because I did this. You're going to have it come back around. You just need to fight tooth and nail to get those events. Because once your calendar's full, you can keep meeting new and asking, but the pressure is off. Because if you have that full calendar, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so great. Now I don't have this huge weight on my shoulders because I'm not doing what I need to. So when you have that full calendar, you're like, okay, this is good. And then you have this feeling of contentment, and it's almost enjoyable then to go out and meet new people. Okay, so the next thing, ask. For me, the best method is verbally. Over the phone, in person. I'm not saying you can't text message or whatever. I'm not saying that. I like the verbal connection with someone. And we're not going to have the same verbiage either. It's more about your tone, your posture, your belief, your energy, your excitement. Be very aware of how you're asking. Don't worry so much about the words. Just be conscious of how you're coming across. Are you coming across as negative or letting them say no? Just make sure that you're showing them the value that they're going to have by booking that event, and show them what you have for them. Okay, I'm just going to end with this last little bit about bookings off of bookings. To be honest with you, I'm an in-person party girl, and that is okay. This is what I say about that. And this is John Maxwell, not me. Work where your strengths are. And I remember him hearing that, and I'm thinking, why shouldn't we be working where we need better, more work, help and things like that? And this was the perfect example. I'm good at the parties. I'm going to keep working there because that's where I'm good at. And I have people on my team, oh my gosh, they're so great at healthy living. They're so great at virtual. I say, keep working where your strengths are. If that's working, that's great. To get bookings, no matter what you're doing, you have to have fun at the parties. You have to have fun at your virtuals. You have to have fun at your 30 days, whatever you're doing. You have to have fun, be excited. And here is a super important key. Be generous, because it's going to come back to you. And one little tip that I'm going to share with you, because I have 30 seconds. I use a calendar like this. And honestly, this is so old school. When I'm at my parties, I just pass it out and say, oh my gosh, I would love to have a little party for you. Up at the top are all of the hostess rewards. I have hot dates. Hot dates, I give them a higher discount. You guys, I give away because I want more parties, and I don't want to pick up the phone to get those parties. And why I do that? I want new contacts, new people, so I can reach my goal of finding new business builders. All right, so I am all done. I know it's so fast, but hey, it's awesome. So I am excited that I get to introduce Jill. And I tell you, I have learned a lot from Jill too about her just tenacious heart. So Jill, are you there? And I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yep, I'm here. Can you all hear me? We good?
Yes.
All right, so my training is sponsoring. And people get so hung up about sponsoring, they get nervous, and but at the end of the day, this is the lifeline of our business. I don't know why mine's, I see Carlita, I don't see myself, so it's, hey Carlita. but anyways, but it's a lifeline of our business. And at the end of the day, without sponsoring, you have a boutique, just a straight up boutique. And without sponsoring, you are completely defeating of what's capable with this business. So, the best thing we have in the catalog is the business. And I'm sure you've heard that so many times, but the products are forever changing. When Carlita got the game, she didn't even have the RE9 line, but now there's like 17 skincare lines. Like, the products are always changing and getting better. The one thing that isn't changing is the business. So not everybody is money driven, but you start this business to make money, and you might not be a red personality. Even if you're a yellow personality, if you're in our book club right now, you want to help people, but to make, you'll help a lot more people when you make more money. And at the end of the day, when you sponsor and grow this business, you'll make more money. And when we all collectively make a lot of money, the world's a better place. So sponsoring this month is next month's business. And I could look at my organization, if somebody puts up 4,000 and I look at their sponsoring numbers and it's 0, well, next month it's going to be 4,000 or less. Like, that's just the name of the game. That's just the truth. So you want to look at sponsoring numbers. And when someone is complaining about their business, I'm like, well, look at your sponsoring numbers and let's be honest with ourselves. But first, we need to completely understand what our business is before we show someone how to do this business. So what exactly is our Arbonne business, y'all? We get paid to sell products, to use and to share the pure safest products in the world, sit down and tell Pettermore's vision, the Arbonne difference, and show people how to shop at a discount. That's what we get paid to do. And your own personal business is your central district. And for all the new people out there, that's your clients, your preferred clients, your independent consultants that you've sponsored, and any of those consultants that those ICs have sponsored. But our responsibility, y'all, is to keep our central district at minimum 5,000. You can thrive to maintain your district at 2,500, but honestly, if you keep hitting your goal each month, guess what? You didn't set your bar high enough. So let's raise that bar. And like I said, at the beginning of this, I said we mostly 99% of us got into Arbonne to make money. And y'all are, and you're taking the time out of your Saturday to spend with us to learn how to grow this business. And sponsoring is the answer to it. So let's set that bar higher. Honestly, your district should be at 10,000, but we create this huge business of preferred clients and clients in our central district who repeatedly order product because they get hooked on it, right? And with a full calendar, you are bringing new people in. So your central district should always stay minimally at 5,000. Build it big today and don't ever stop building it. So your business is, when you work consistently, we never have to work constantly. You should not be doing Arbonne 24/7, but when I'm at an in-home event or virtual, your goal is to sponsor. But a coffee date, all the jazz of activity, which I'm going to get into right now with sponsoring, you lead with the business. You've probably heard the funnel effect before. Why would you ask someone, hey, do you want a fizz stick? And then they say no, and all of a sudden, hey, you want to take a look at this business opportunity? I lead with the business. If you haven't, I'm just so straightforward as it is, but God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. And when I'm at an in-home event, a healthy happy hour, or even in the virtual world nowadays, you guys, it's all about building relationships. We don't just spam Arbonne to people, but when you don't really know what to say when you're talking to someone out and about, ask them about their family. How many kids do you have? Like, wall barriers start to come down when they get comfortable about what they love the most. So I'm like, how many kids do you have? How long have you and your husband been married? Or maybe like last week I was at an event, I was talking to the girl, like, she's planning her wedding. Or then ask someone what they do. What's your occupation? What do you do? And then, oh my God, I bet you love that. And that's a good way to get to know people. I read their facial expressions, and they're either like, I don't love what I do, or I love what I do, but I work a lot. So I have a solution to their answer with everything they come at me with. Ask them how they know the hostess or what they do for fun. That's just common questions just to get them talking and that barrier down. But towards the end of it, whether I'm at an event or building a relationship with someone online, I have a good feel. And like I said, I'm just very straightforward. I don't like, in the past, that's why I said no to Arbonne forever, because I got those long paragraphs from people. So I see someone, especially social media related, if someone's viewing my Instagram stories over and over and over for weeks, I jot their name down. If they're not Arbonne related and I haven't talked to them yet, I'm just like, look, I don't know if any of your friends have ever talked about Arbonne, but I genuinely have something here worth looking into. I would love to be the one to break it down for you. Like, it's short, it's simple. At a spa night, you know, I just say it straightforward. And they're going to come at you with the obstacles. I don't think I could do this. I don't know how to sell. I don't know enough people. You guys, all of these are just obstacles of fear about themselves for us to overcome. And when you're trying to overcome someone else's feelings, think of feel, felt, and found. I know how you feel about not being a salesperson. I felt the same exact way. But what I found is that with Arbonne, if you're a salesperson, you're probably going to have a really bad business. And we just educate and show people how to make healthier choices with the support of Arbonne products. You know, it's that easy. And then they're like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. But when you are in such activity, 40 faces, new faces, minimally a month. You know, if you want to grow your business faster, get your business in front of 80 new, 120 new every single month. But when you're so busy and you're talking to so many people in the business, when some person says, yeah, I'm going to do it, you don't put all your eggs in that basket. And I feel like so many people do. They're talking to one person, they say they're going to join, they don't join, and they just throw themselves a pity party. You know, but I'm like, okay, I love you where you're at, but I'm going to help all these people get started. So when you're so confident, and that's the thing with this business, it doesn't get easier as you promote. I've heard that so many times. I can't wait till I have the Mercedes. I can't wait till I'm an MVP. You gain more confidence. And that's just the truth. So now I'm just always like, look, I'm always going to be doing this with or without you. Or if I'm on a three-way phone call with one of my girls, I say that to the person. I'm like, this person's always going to be doing this with or without you, but we can show you how to do this. And I swear there's a sense of barrier that comes down when they're like, wait a minute, they don't need me to be successful, but they can show me how to be successful. So, you know, the average, ask yourself, the average person says yes to Arbonne between the 5th to 12th time. I definitely did not join. I said no to Blair for over a year. Like, did you join on the first time? The answer is no. Stop getting frustrated with people that aren't joining you on the first time. Sponsoring, it's a process. It's going to take a while. So, but this is a business. We're not building a Girl Scout troop. We're building a legitimate business that changes lives. And how you sponsor is by listening. Bottom line. You're listening for ways that people say, I need Arbonne. I hear I need Arbonne all of the time. And it is a disservice to them if I walk away from them. And they're not flat out saying I need Arbonne because they don't even know what the heck Arbonne is. But you're listening for why they would be good at it. You're listening for how you can fit it in their lives, and you're listening for why they need it. And, but build relationships. Keep it in front of them. When I meet someone out and about, it's like, I'm such an introvert, but I make myself talk to at least one person when I go into Walmart, or it's like a challenge to myself. And I'm a very competitive person with myself, but keep it in front of them, get them right away on Facebook and Instagram. And I just, keep sharing my everyday life. I don't talk to them about Arbonne. And I've had so many people tell me that that's what's intriguing about me, because I didn't throw up Arbonne at them. So just don't be the crazy person. But some people take days and weeks and months and years to join your business. But we are in the relationship building business, but at the end of the day, it's still a numbers game. So how many new people are you bringing in? And I'm not talking about preferred clients. Those will come when you have a full calendar. When you are in consistent activity and getting your business in around 40 new, you will get people that will shop at your boutique. I'm talking about new independent consultants, 3 to 5 new every single month. Because the truth is, people will fall off. And if I'm the first person to tell you that people will fall off, well, that's just the truth. They will. So it's a numbers game. You need to replace them faster than they fall off. But the biggest thing is that we need to ask them to take a look. And there are, maybe this has happened to you because it's happened to me. In my head, I've seen people and I've like put my water bottle in front of them and I've worn my Arbonne headband, but I never actually asked them to take a look. And then I log on Facebook and it says, so-and-so, welcome to the Arbonne family. And I'm like, wait a minute, I planted all those seeds, but I never actually take them to take a look. So the first thing is we need to ask them to take a look at this. And we're not asking them to about an opportunity. People are too busy for opportunities. We're giving people solutions to their lives. So 40 faces a month, let me see. Oh, and I've got one more minute, guys. 40 faces a month, but when you show your business at minimum 40 faces, chances are 1 yes are really, really good. If you only got your business in front of 10, odds are there's gonna be a lot yeses. And there's a training Cecilia Stoll did with, if there's $1 million check, I'm gonna end with this. If there's $1 million check out in your front yard right now, underneath a rock, but there's 100 other rocks out there, would you go out there and just do 1 rock a day? You would go out there and flip all those rocks over in 10 seconds to get that $1 million check. So why are we going out there and only talking to one person a month or maybe one person every few months? Get out there, stop being, it's gonna be weird, you're gonna do it ugly, but just own it, and that's you, and that's what's beautiful about it. So stop overthinking it. Life is hard. This business is not hard. Me living, you know, just that's just the truth. Life is hard. So I'm going to turn it over to Blair. She's my best friend in the whole wide world, and she's right here. So.
Hey, everybody. So excited. I get to follow my girl, Jill. And today I'm going to share with you guys the selling aspect. And it's ironic that I was given this because for me, selling was the thing that made me the most uncomfortable. I doubt I'm the only one sitting here that has spoken the words before, I'm not a salesperson. And that's definitely how my mindset going into this business. But I was introduced through my amazing friend Allison, and she got me hooked on these products, and I fell in love with them, and I became a user of them. I saw the benefits of them, and I started sharing them with everyone I worked with my family, my friends, and everybody. And I was telling everybody about the results and how much I loved them. And I did not recognize in that time that I was actually doing this business. And then it's like the funny mindset thing. As soon as I decided to join this business, all of a sudden I felt like I couldn't share the products anymore, which is obviously not accurate because I was benefiting from these. These were a blessing in my life. And when I finally grasped that they could be a blessing for other people once I share them, that was the game changer for me. And so the stigma of that word selling, I want you just to totally remove from your mind. In Arbonne, what we do is bless other people with incredibly amazing alternatives to products that they are already using each and every day. What we offer is cosmetics, skincare, health and wellness, nutrition. I mean, these are products people are using anyways, and we're giving them the cleanest, purest, safest, most incredible form of them so they can live a better life each and every day. And so recognize that first and foremost. That's the most important aspect of selling when it comes to Arbonne. And so, you know, we must get out of our head and recognize that. Another amazing thing that I had to realize that I was kicking myself when I went back was I was so concerned about the price point. And because I was somebody who started this business and was struggling financially, which is why I needed this. You know, we had more month than money. And so, you know, that's where that sponsoring piece comes from. But I looked at these products, I saw the value, and even me living paycheck to paycheck as just a preferred client before doing this business, I was mapping out how I could replace these products and how I could get discounts. And thankfully, Allison shared with me the value of, you know, our RE9 line. And for example, you know, we have our ASVP, we have our skincare lines, we have all of these sets. And it's not a mistake that Arbonne put all these sets together. They are together for a reason, and a very good reason. Each and every single product is powerful on their own, but together, synergetically, they work better together. People get better results when they use all of them. If you look at our ASVP, or 30 Days to Healthy Living, our shakes are incredible. They are going to have health benefits. They're going to have benefits from just drinking the fizz. It's going to help them. But when they use all of those things together, that's when they maximize their results. And it's the same thing with the skincare, cosmetics, all of it. We preach and teach daily, you are healthy from the inside out, and it all matters. And when you use all of it, you get the best results. But also from a price point standpoint, each and every product is less expensive when purchased in the ASVP, when purchased together in a set. There is so much value, you guys, in sharing the sets. And so what you have to do is have these conversations. Because for me, especially at the beginning, I would get so nervous about talking about price, closing the deal, and I'll talk about that in a second. But when I would really just have an actual conversation with people and navigate and figure out what they need, what they're looking for, and say, hey, listen, this is what I'm hearing you say you need. This is what I'm hearing you say you're struggling with. This is what's going to be the best for you, and this is going to be the best value. And when you are honest and genuine and sincere with people, and they hear that passion and know that what you're genuinely trying to do is help them, they will also see the value. And that's when the selling aspect completely goes away. It's helping and sharing with people an amazing gift. And so together in those sets, you're going to get better value, you're going to get better pricing, but you're also going to build that residual income for your family, because that's where you're going to get people hooked on these products where they are dead set on using these, they've seen the results, they get it, and they are never going back to using anything else. And I think each and every one of you could at least name one, if not 50 products that Arbonne has blessed in your life where you're saying, gosh, if Arbonne shut down tomorrow, I don't know what I would do without this and this and this, because you are so reliant on those. Those are your daily products that you use. And that's what we passionately get to share with other people so it can benefit them as well. And you guys, Arbonne has given us a 45-day money-back guarantee. So that takes all the pressure off completely. People are truly, genuinely allowed to use these products, navigate, figure out what works best for them, swap it, exchange it, do whatever they need to do within 45 days. There is no pressure. There's no nothing. All you're doing is helping people navigate and live a healthier life. And so that's what you have to keep in mind. And we worry so much about being too pushy. And so we navigate and then we become too salesy per se. We focus only on product, or we focus only on sponsoring, and then there's no volume backed by it. And so we have a beautiful thing in this business. We have our preferred client program. We have these amazing incentives with free products and free shipping and all of these things. And Arbonne has set ourselves up well to have a balanced business of both sponsoring and clients. And that's what you need to get good at. And you have to recognize when you're going into an in-home event, or you're doing a virtual or a coffee date or a one-on-one, or just sharing with somebody at a department store, whatever it is, maybe not every single person you talk to understands or even cares about the value of healthy living, and those aren't your people. And that's okay. You just need to find the ones that are. And that's what you're looking for. And when you find the ones that are navigating and looking for these products, you get good at sharing that with them, and make sure that you walk away from each and every conversation making sure they know the full Arbonne story and the full value. Because unless they understand the full value, they're going to look at it just like any other product on a store shelf. So that's what our job is to make sure that people walk away from a conversation or event or whatever it is with us and know and understand the value and the gift of what we're offering. And so the close, let's see, sorry, I want to make sure I'm staying on track. Oh, gosh, I got it. Okay, so you must be willing to learn and find a style that works for you. Just like Melissa said, I love that so much, where she's saying go where you're good at. I mean, my gosh, absolutely. Because that's where you're going to find your passion. That's where you're going to be the most genuine you. And so that's what you need to do. So it's so funny, because I used to be so intimidated by the 30 days to healthy living. When I started, I was skincare, zoned in skincare. That's all I knew. That's all I understood. That's all I shared. And I had to force myself to become a user of the 30-day program and these products, but also sharing them passionately at events and in conversations with people. And it's amazing now how easy that, like, I get so excited, and it's so funny. Sometimes I surprise myself, and you'll find this because the more you do it, the better you get at it. I surprise myself with how much more I actually know when I get up there and start sharing, because I'm a user of these products each and every day, and I'm seeing the benefit in my own life. And that's where people hear the passion and the honesty come out, and they recognize, oh my gosh, she really has had a health journey with this. She really has benefited from these products. And they leave understanding the value of at least what's happened in my life. So it plants a seed for them. And so if there's some aspect of this business that you're uncomfortable with, make sure you're using those products and get good at sharing them, because your journey will draw in more people than you could ever imagine. And another thing that I have to do to hold my feet to the fire, because the selling aspect was so intimidating to me, was I love talking about the business. Because I was excited about the business, and I would, kind of downplay the selling aspect and joining this business with products, which is a disservice to the people joining in your organization. You want them to join with products and become a user of these products as well, so they can build a business and also become healthier. So something that I think is super important is setting sales goals every month. We absolutely want to set sponsoring goals and everything else, but sales goals are also very important, because for me, that shows me that I'm continuing to share passionately these products and personally having volume, personally bringing on new clients, and sharing the Arbonne story. And so I'm a procrastinator at heart. And so I have to challenge myself each and every night. I literally sit there with my planner and I make out a to-do list for the next day. I'm a mom with 3 young kids. The day can kind of get away from me. And so I have to do that at night when kids are in bed and I can focus. And I just write down, okay, tomorrow is Sunday, and so I'll navigate what I can do for my business tomorrow. On Sunday night, I'm going to navigate what my Monday looks like. And so there's little parts of each and every day where I can squeeze a little bit of Arbonne into every single day of my life. I can share it in some way, shape, or form. And it just depends on what my next day looks like. So I think that that's a great thing. But in that, I always make sure I put in a sales goal of some kind. And so, setting goals is the first step to turning the invisible into visible, right? And I heard a training recently where they said only 3% of people will actually write down their goals. And I'm a visual person, and so I see the power in that. But out of those 3%, 8 out of 10 will achieve them, which is pretty incredible. So 80% of the people who write them down actually achieve them. So I think there's power in that vision, which we've talked a little bit about today. And so have a plan to reach that goal, and a plan backed by action is what's going to help you achieve that goal. So you actually have to have a plan, and then you have to put action into place with your daily activity and your reach outs and all of these things. And so, definitely write down your goals, push yourself, and don't be afraid, because when you have, let's say you have a number sales goal that month, that's a good temperature read to know how much you're really doing and how much you're really reaching out each and every day. And when you get good at selling and sharing these products with other people, that's when your organization will get good at that as well, because they do what you do, not what you say. And so you need to practice what you preach each and every day. And so make your goals specific. And I have to learn too that sometimes I say yes to too many things and get caught up and kind of can lose my focus on what I need to be doing. And the thing that gets put on the back burner is that selling aspect. So that's something where I just have found so much power in writing it down. But more than anything, becoming a user of these products, recognizing the value, understanding how my life has been improved so greatly because of them, and then passionately sharing that with each and every person that you come across to in any event or anything like that. And so a super important aspect, whether it's in a conversation, a virtual, or anything else, is the closing aspect, because closing begins the second you start talking to people. And so sprinkle questions throughout the conversation. So when you're doing your close, make sure you're talking about things like, hey, aren't these products that everybody's looking for anyways? Isn't this something that everybody should at least get a little bit more information on? And I've learned to say things like that so people understand this is a conversation I'm having with you. Aren't you also interested in that? And the more yeses you get throughout the conversation, in a presentation or coffee date or anything, the more likely you're going to get a yes at the very end when you've truly shared the value of what it is that you're offering. And so you always want to close with those 4 ways. Like I said, make sure you never walk away from a conversation without passionately sharing every aspect of this Arbonne opportunity and products that we are able to offer. And I highly recommend practicing this. Stand in front of your mirror, those voice memos on your phone. I will literally be in my car if I'm by myself, and I'll record myself and I'll hear my verbiage and see what I sound like. It sounds silly, but for me, it's like I had to say it out loud. And when I actually say it out loud and I practice, I get so much better, because the selling aspect gave me so much anxiety at the beginning, which is so funny. And now it is nothing. Now that I know in like my deepest part of my soul that what I'm offering is good and it could be an amazing blessing for people, that's what I share with them. And then my prayer, my hope in every conversation with anyone I talk to about Arbonne is that it can be a blessing in their life. It may not be the right time for them today. They may have to wait till the 15th till they get paid, or, whatever it is in their life, but at least I've walked away from that conversation and they know that what I'm offering them is good. And it could be a blessing for them, and it is up to them to decide if they want to benefit from our amazing program of preferred client or becoming an independent consultant and changing their lifestyle altogether. So I am excited because the next thing I get to share is, I think, with Kimberly. I think Kimberly's up next, and she is amazing.
I don't know about that. Let me start my timer. Hi, you guys. My name is Kimberly Woodruff, and I'm going to be talking with you about service. And so it's kind of funny. Years ago, I actually was an insurance agent, and I got hired to be in the sales department. And I'll never forget, after my first day of work, the manager walked in and he said, Kimberly, the writing is on the wall. We need to fire you from the sales department because I was so bad at sales. Okay. He said, you lack the killer instinct. I'll never forget that. I was like, oh my goodness, I've never gotten fired before. I was so embarrassed. So like, okay, can I please leave? He said, but we're going to move you over to service. We think that you would be great at customer service. I was like, okay, like as long as I've still got a job, customer service sounds good to me. And so I was moved over to customer service, and I love customer service. I love talking with people, helping people with the color charts. I'm a yellow all day long. Give me all the babies, the puppies. I want to talk forever over coffee. And then, an hour into the conversation, I'm like, oh, goals, I'm that yellow personality. And so I love customer service. And so truly in Arbonne, the fortune is in the follow-up. And I hope I can do a good job explaining what that actually means with how much of your connections with people and servicing people and loving on people is actually so many times why people will, of course, purchase products from you, but will also join you in the business. Because when people like you, know you, and trust you, they want to do the business with you, okay? And so by having that good customer service and really caring about them and how you can help them, they're going to learn to know you, like you, and trust you and want to do the business with you, right? So there is a wonderful follow-up tracker on Carlita Nelson's website, okay? It is so many of these documents that we have done. I promise you, like, there's so much thought and time, effort that is put into these trackers to make them the perfect material for you to use to grow your business, okay? And that follow-up tracker is one of them. I know some people love computers and putting it there, and that's fine. If you want to put it in there, I'm a paper person. I love to print out stuff and write it down. But the first thing that we talk about with follow-up are with group events, okay? This is so many times I get group events by actually my follow-up. And what I mean by that is if someone has purchased products from me before and I'm following up with them, okay? Say it's Fizz Sticks, okay? And they run out every 30 days. So I need to stay on top of it with that tracker on actually reaching back out to them, right? If I know they're running out of those Fizz Sticks, there's two ways that I do. I either get an event or try to book an event from that service, or I try to get a referral. Okay. And this is just very Arbonne examples. All right. So if someone's running out of those fizzy sticks, I will say, how about you just grab a handful of people together and you can actually get that, those fizzy sticks, instead of having to pay for them, you could actually get them as a hostess gift. Or if they've run out of a few products, if they've done the 30 Days to Healthy Living program, you can do it that way. So I get a lot of events by that servicing aspect of getting people who wanted to purchase something, just get them to host instead and earn it in host rewards. Or you can say, if you actually, I do coach people a lot through the 30 Days to Healthy Living program, okay? And so if someone has run out of those fizzy sticks, I will say, you know what, if you get someone to do the 30 Days to Healthy Living program with me in this next group, I will actually send you a box of those fizz sticks, okay? And so, of course, they have to get someone who actually does the program, but I put it in the system, and then I get it from, the gift list. I utilize host rewards, and I just mail them whatever they wanted. And I use that list all the time, that free gift list, which is amazing. All the products that Arbonne has given us to use that to your benefit for referrals. Like, so even with that example with the 30 Days to Healthy Living program, okay, say if someone has 2 people who wants to do the program, I'll send them 2 gifts from that list. Now, of course, if they are referring me people, as the Arbonne consultant, shouldn't I then say, you know what, you're doing Arbonne. You are sharing this wonderful program with these people. I would hate to take these friends of yours, if you're actually, remotely interested in doing Arbonne, these would actually be your clients and you could help coach them through it. Of course, I'd help you too, but that way we could go ahead and you could start making money. And so when you are, like I said before, when you are servicing people and getting them, yes, maybe you were talking about a product, but it is so easy to transition into getting an event, a referral, or both of those things, both referrals and events. That person, it's an easy transition to talk about the business, of course, which is, as we always say, we lead with the business. We always have that intent on our heart that we're going to be talking with them about the business, okay? Signing people up as preferred clients. Your preferred clients are your best customers because they already love Arbonne. They are shopping at a discount. So make sure that you are treating them so well. You're following up with them. You should not have people be like, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to renew. Like that's our job as the consultant, to make sure that we are reminding them of their renewals, the rewards that they have on their account. Because here's the thing, and this is just the hard truth of it, okay? If someone is using, say, the RE9 cleanser, and they run out and they're in Target, they're like, you know what, I love my RE9, but I need some cleanser. I'm right here. I'm just going to grab it. I'll go back to Arbonne later. But they only hear from you once a year or twice a year when you're going for a promotion and you want to give a big sale. They have already started something else and they don't need your cleanser now, right? But if you are following up with them, as the tracker says, you're going to get them before they run out of that RE9 cleanser. So they get hooked to it. And then, as we know, when people get hooked, they don't stop using our products, right? So yes, with samples, giving out samples. I did not utilize samples well, probably until about 2 years ago. And samples have really helped grow my business and following up with them. Social media posts, making sure that you are following up with your social media post, as well as I mentioned before, referrals. I read something interesting in a Forbes article the other week that said people who seek out referrals earn 4 to 5 times more than those who do not. So if you're not utilizing referrals, whether that be, through the 30 Days to Healthy Living program or even at events or whatever it may be, social media, utilizing referrals from social media as well, you're missing out on a huge part of what could be of your business, with referrals. Let's see. I know Jill mentioned this, but I think a lot of you may have seen, you may not have seen, there's like this chart that shows the percentages of people that actually purchase products or join a business on how many times they've heard it. And 48% of salespeople never follow up with a prospect. Okay. That's 1 in 2 people, pretty much 50% of people never follow up with a prospect. And then we wonder, why didn't I have a great month? And it's because we weren't following up with people. Because here's this percentage, 80% of sales are made in the 5th to 12th contact. And that's also including joining the business, okay? So if you're giving up halfway through but you know you need to make 5 to 12 contacts to get 80% of your business, whether that be through business builders or through products being sold. That's a huge part of your business, right? 80%. And so if there is something that I can say is just get real with the fact that, I know for me, I wasn't great at follow-up and being, I'm not a type A person. And so that tracker, I had to, every month, I have to print it out and I have to work through it, okay? And so some of you guys may be like, oh, okay, I get overwhelmed and therefore I don't do it. That's how I am. When I get overwhelmed, I'm like, I can't deal with it. But if you stay on top of it, utilizing that tracker, I promise you, you will realize you'll be tracking, okay, this is my 5th contact. I'm in the 80% chance now that this person's going to join my business or that they're going to purchase this ASVP from me or whatever it may be. Okay. And then the last thing is I'm reading the book, Eat More Chicken, Inspire More People by Kathy Truitt. And this is, he was the founder of Chick-fil-A, and anybody, it's a great book. I mean, so many tips, and anybody who knows of Chick-fil-A, they did, Chick-fil-A is now the 3rd largest chain restaurant in the entire nation, even though they're only open 6 days a week. Usually we all want it on Sundays. I know I always crave Chick-fil-A on Sundays, but all to say that they are known for their customer service. And so if you're sitting there thinking like, oh, I don't know if service is really that big of a deal in my business, I promise you, look at their model of how they build their businesses on caring for people, good customer service, good products. Of course, Arbonne has good products, and what they have done to transform the fast food industry is pretty incredible. And so please don't, I guess what I'm trying to say is don't underestimate the importance of having good customer service, caring about people, making sure that you are meeting their needs of what they want from Arbonne, but also staying super on top of it with how you actually follow up with people. So I'm going to introduce Miss Tammy on self-development.
Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you so much. This is one of my favorite topics because I've had to work so very, very hard at it. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, great. So thank you guys. Thank you, Kimberly, so much. Self-development is one of those things that I have had to work so hard at. And I think what I love about self-development is it truly creates the entire person all together. So it's better said like this: what got you here will not get you there. And success, guys, will always be a struggle if you don't do your mindset work. So self-development is one of those single most important factors of your entire success in your Arbonne business. One of the best questions I believe that you can ask yourself is, who do I need to be so that I can be better? Who do I need to be so I can be better? So if you're looking at your business and you're thinking, I would really like to be an area manager. Well, you need to ask your question, who do I need to be an area manager? If you're thinking about, I would like to be a regional vice president, instead of just thinking, I want to be a regional vice president, think about who do you need to be a regional vice president. And then also, obviously, if you want to be a national vice president in Arbonne, then you need to ask yourself the question, who do I need to be a national vice president? Because here's a fact, who always comes before the what. If you figure out who you are and who you need to be, then the what will absolutely appear. You will know what to do to become those different levels of success. You see, what I have learned in my journey is that self-development is not a should, it's actually a must. So here's the difference between a should and a must. It sounds like this: I should work out, I should do self-development, I should eat better. Now on the flip side, here's what a must sounds like. It's actually scheduled into your day. At 8 o'clock, I'm going to be going to a workout class on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. At 5 a.m. every morning, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do and invest in myself and do my self-development. And On Sundays, I'm going to do meal prep so I can really stay in tune with what I'm choosing for my meals each week. So if it's scheduled, guys, it's going to get done. If it's not scheduled, it's not going to get done. And this was a hard lesson for me. I had to start making an appointment with myself. So we have to have a sense of urgency to want to improve ourselves. So show me someone without a self-development plan, and I'll absolutely show you someone that feels stuck in their Arbonne business. John Maxwell has taught me through his mentorship of me reading a million of his books. He's taught me, and he has said this over and over again, you have to have a self-development plan, a plan. And there's lots of ways for us to be able to do that and to have self-development. Here's some of my favorite things. I absolutely love a Audible app on my phone so that when I'm going around town or I'm in the house doing laundry, I can listen to books on tape or whatever. And what's cool about the Audible is that I can literally listen to an entire book in one day, or certainly one book a week. So it keeps my level of self-development really high because we're always in our cars and always have earbuds. Another way for us to be able to invest in our self-development is through mentors and finding those people that are at levels of success in your Arbonne business that you want to have conversation about, because you want to be seeking out those that are in the place that you're wanting to achieve. And that's called discipleship. You know, mentoring other people and being mentored is really what we're called to do. We need to have the circle of our 5 people be the ones that are going to influence us in a very positive way, because they're either going to influence us to the good or the bad. So pick those people to surround yourself with that absolutely will increase your chances of having a successful life in all categories. The third way, obviously, is through books and finding your topic that you need to go to school on, and then selecting that topic and literally going and reading. You know, one thing that I learned a long time ago to try to break down a book, because I'm not a very good reader, is that if I read 10 pages a day, by the end of the month, I have read an entire book. And then retreats and conferences just like this. My journey, and I know all the other national vice presidents would say this, our journeys have been paved with different retreats and conferences and training calls and all of that, because with all of that paved out for us, we hit different moments of things that we just started implementing into our business and changing. And those are things, guys, when I talk about those 4 things, the Audible, the books, the retreats, and our training calls, you know, on Wednesday and Saturday, those are things that are just given to you in your Arbonne business and things that we just kind of fall in line with. And some of us are hit or miss on those. And hopefully all of you are truly staying plugged in with those. But listen, what we have to really recognize today is that we need a daily plan. Not just whenever the next Arbonne One Day comes up or when the next GTC comes up. We need a daily plan. Living a mediocre life is you making the decision to stay the same and not to advance yourself. Mediocre days are going to turn into mediocre weeks, and mediocre weeks are going to turn into mediocre years. And this creates unfulfilled potential if we don't change. So the question is, are you maximizing your potential and creating the levels of success that you truly want in every single part of your life? I want to say that we have to listen to this. We have to listen to this truth. Shelley White, you're in here. You are just as worthy and deserving and capable of creating and sustaining health, wealth, happiness, love, and success in your life as any other person on this earth. And we need to start, every single one of us, living in alignment with that truth. Miranda, we have to come to the knowledge of knowing who we are, whose we are, and we have to realize that we have to pull out our own potential. Anything that we dedicate ourselves to, we're going to create in a good and positive way. The plan that you need to create is first thing of a morning. How you wake up each day in your morning routine or lack of dramatically affects your levels of success in every area of your life. Focused, productive, successful mornings will generate you successful days, which also creates a successful life. But an unfocused, unproductive morning will create a very mediocre life. I'm all about today receiving this in from Arbonne One Day, all the trainings, but I'm also about walking it out. So let's do something about our self-development plan. And I'm going to invite every single one of you to join me in doing a 30-day life transformational challenge. And this is going to be helping us develop our self-development plan and really creating those miracle mornings that truly make us productive throughout the day. So this book is a game changer. This was when I really started seeing the value of self-development and what I wanted for my life and how I started my focus every single morning. You're going to wake up with so much potential. So this 30-day life transformational challenge is part of this book, and it's Hal Elroy, that's the author. He identifies the perfect balance between how you're waking up and how well your days go. And if we wake up every day on purpose, truly focused about our day, we're going to see it come out in our business. It's really going to be an overhaul transformation for you. So basically, this challenge is to create self-development into your life on a daily plan. You wake up 1 hour earlier than you normally do. So if you normally wake up at 7 a.m., this challenge is going to require you to wake up at 6 a.m. And when you do that, in that 1 hour, we're going to go through this miracle morning routine. And it's 10-minute increments that hits on 6 different points, which will equal your 60 minutes. It's going to hit on those 6 points and create your focus for the day. These are the different components to it. The first 10 minutes, you're going to set in silence and do some form of meditation, prayer. I love the Abide Christian meditation app. That's the one I love, but you find the one that really fills your spirit. But 10 minutes of sitting in silence, 10 minutes of doing your affirmations. And one of my affirmations that I love so much is Coach Jerry, the one that is called the Gold Card. Many of you, if you don't know what that is, ask your MVP for that and they will give it to you, or create your own affirmations, whatever that is, but you're going to be reciting that. The next 10 minutes, you're going to be visualizing. If you haven't done a dream board, that it needs to be on your plan today to do after you're inspired today, do a dream board, and then you're going to spend 10 minutes visualizing those things coming true and into your life. And then the next 10 minutes, you're going to do a little warm-up exercise. It doesn't have to be, crazy boot camp. Just 10 minutes of maybe sitting there doing yoga or stretches or just getting your blood going for the day. Push-ups, crunches. And then the next 10 minutes, you're going to read. You're going to read out of your self-development book in the area that you want to really grow in your business. And then the last 10 minutes of it, you're going to be journaling. And you're going to be journaling your gratitudes, because whenever you start your day with gratitude, you're truly going to change the whole course of your day. So in order, guys, for you to have a level of success that you've never had, you're going to have to commit to a level that you never have. Your level of success will always be parallel to your level of self-development. So today, as we go through our Arbonne One Day, keep in mind that we must change. We have to change. Let's do this 30-day live transformational challenge together and commit to creating miracle mornings. Let your MVP know if you would like to be a part of that transformational challenge. And together within 30 days, you're going to have a new you. You're going to be a new person inside and out, and your business will likely look amazing. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to turn it over to our amazing National Vice President, Jennifer Pullett.
Thank you, Tammy. Hi, everybody. I'm really excited to just piggyback off of Tammy's amazing training. She talked about self-development, personal development, and I'm talking about kind of the twin to that, which is staying connected. And I love Carlita's analogy of staying connected to like a life support machine for someone who can't breathe on their own. She said one time, if you don't plug in, you will die, just like without that machine. And it's so true, because this business is more than just going to parties and making sales. So much of what we're doing now today, gathering, being together, coming to monthly meetings, participating in big events, going to GTC, it's a feeling of our culture and coming together, and it's something really unique, and it's something that needs to be experienced in person. There's no substitute to that component sometimes. Staying connected on the Wednesday night calls, the special opportunities to connect and plug in, those are all vital to the success of your business. And I know it's hard to see that sometimes. And I know I was somebody who had a really hard time adapting to this because I didn't think I needed it. And what I found is that if you're not doing these calls or attending these meetings, you're not truly serious about this business. You're not seeing yourself as a leader yet. So if your goal is RVP or even area manager or district, but you're not regularly participating in the connection opportunities, then you're not seeing yourself as a leader. And I really want that to sink in for people who are inconsistent about this. Think about it. A meeting can't function without the leader who's organizing it being there. And so often in this business, if you want to prepare yourself for that level of success, you need to act as if. We always say that at our parties: get confident, go to your events, speak with confidence, act as if you are already where you want to be. Well, you're never going to be able to act as if you're not showing up. And the part that really gets me is that this is the easiest part of all of it. This is the easiest part. Yes, booking our calendar sometimes relies on other people, right? And it's an extra obstacle to deal with people's excuses and other people's schedules. Getting connected is 100,000% just on you. Like, there is no excuse for not prioritizing that and not getting on the calls. And I know so many of us don't do this on a regular or consistent basis. So I really want you to understand that out of our entire recipe, this is probably the simplest to schedule. We always know our calls are on Wednesday nights. We generally get our meetings and big events ahead of time. There's no excuse for not showing up to that. So if you're not attending these, you guys, you're not really seeing yourself as a leader. And I'll tell you a turning point for me when I really understood this concept, because I would be inconsistent about showing up to the monthly meetings. I would let excuses get in the way, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. And what happened, I found an ace on my business, and Dorota was new in my business, and she would call me and say, hey, I'm coming to the meeting tonight. You're going to be there, right? How could I not be there, you guys, when I had an ace showing up with or without me? It pushed me that much harder. So I want you guys to all act as if you are already that leader and you already have someone amazing on your team. That's what it takes, you guys. And so you have to choose to make it non-negotiable, and you also have to be hungry to learn. So I'm not going to spend our entire time today talking just about how you need to get connected and it's important. And I hope you guys get that already, right? But in order to make this a little more productive and maybe help you guys overcome, because again, it's not hard, right? It's not hard to connect onto the Wednesday night calls from wherever you are in the world. You can connect and dial in. It's not hard to plan ahead and put something on your calendar and show up for it, right? But yet the majority of people don't do it. So what are some of the self-sabotaging behaviors that may be holding you back? That's what I'm going to spend the next few minutes talking about, not to be negative, but to help you identify maybe what it is that you are letting get in your way and preventing you from this fun part of staying connected with the team and the larger picture. Hopefully you can then identify it and learn to overcome it. So the first thing I think that holds us back from staying connected and from self-development is our pride or ego. This was 100% that thing that held me back at the beginning. I thought I was better than the books they told me to read. I didn't think I needed that. I would get crabby about the meetings If I didn't have a guest coming, I would say, oh, it's the same Discover Arbonne. I've heard it 1,000 times. And I hear that all the time. But you guys, our pride and ego has no room in this business. And if we want to truly grow successful, we need to adopt a growth mindset that's always hungry and eager to learn. So instead of complaining about how you've heard the same DA 1,000 times, ask yourself, how can I internalize this in a way that I will be able to better convey this business opportunity to the future prospects I bring into this business? Everybody needs personal development and can learn from other people. So really stop complaining and adopt this growth mindset to be hungry to learn more. And I really understood this when Lisa finally, after months of complaining to her, right? We complain to our uplines all the time. I would say to her, you know, call her about the same old problems over and over. And one time she just cut me off and she said, Jen, let me ask you a question. What are you reading right now? And of course, I wasn't in personal development on a consistent basis. And I understood in that moment that if I wasn't putting in the time to nurture myself and grow my own leadership for me, why the heck should I expect her to pour her time, which is so valuable, into me when I'm not doing all that I can? So I really urge you guys to take accountability over yourselves and your actions and just start showing up. It's the simplest thing. Let go of your ego, adopt a growth mindset, and show up. The second thing that might get in our way when it comes to staying connected is laziness. This is a cold, hard fact, especially living in the Midwest. It's cold in the winter. Sometimes we just flat out don't want to leave our house to go to the monthly meeting or to do a party or whatever it is. Sometimes, yeah, it might seem like, oh, it's not worth my hassle to try to find someone to stay with the kids or to, you know, we just don't want to take that effort. And that's laziness, you guys. It's true. So I have learned a way to combat my laziness is to have an abundant mindset and always think as if something amazing is going to happen, because I've seen it over and over in this business, you guys. It's usually those moments where we really don't feel like doing something and we pull ourselves out anyway. That's when we have the best success and the best like unexpected return on that time. So whenever I'm feeling lazy or just icky, I drink a fizz stick and I plan something, a coffee date with somebody who's a hustler, a team, you know, coffee meeting, just to get some energy from somebody whose business is fired up right now. Coming to whatever event is local, even if it's not in my organization, but there's a car show within an hour, 2 hours drive, I'm going to pull myself out to get connected to that bigger picture and overcome my laziness. And then it sets me into momentum. So do, then think. If you're struggling with laziness, if that's holding you back from staying connected, do, then think, and learn to prioritize your time. Don't make excuses about it. A third self-sabotaging thing that can hold us back from staying connected is apathy or contentment. I think this is one of the biggest dream stealers in our business. It's the disbelief that things can change, and we just become apathetic and we settle into our surroundings. And I think this kills people's potential so much. You have to have a belief in something bigger and better ahead of you if you want to stick in this business. So let go of stories that don't serve you. A lot of times we tell ourselves, well, maybe it's just, this is enough for me, or maybe I don't deserve more, or maybe I'm not good enough like so-and-so. Let go of self-sabotaging thoughts, you guys, and just get into activity and get to those events. Get out of victim mode. Again, if you're playing the victim, but you're not on the Wednesday night calls, you're not showing up to the meetings, you're just sabotaging yourself. It's not other people. Yeah, maybe there's junky stuff happening in your business. Maybe someone canceled, maybe somebody returned products, maybe somebody quit, but you have control over showing up. So choose to exercise that autonomy over yourself and your own actions and just start showing up. The fourth thing that can hold us back from staying connected, fear. Fear is a huge one. It can be fear of facing reality. It can be fear of success. It can be fear of failure. But sometimes we're afraid of our own inadequacies, and we let that fear stop us from people who are going to shine a light on the truth. And I'm somebody who's really guilty of this, you guys. In a non-Arbonne example, I have had the book about decluttering. I forgot what it's called, Maria, whatever. I've had that book on my nightstand for like a year and a half. I know that's my biggest problem is like, you can tell my bookshelves behind me. Okay. I am a pack rat, and I am putting off reading that book because I know that it's going to hit me and it's going to force me to change, and it's going to tell me things that I don't like and I'm not ready for. So I've been putting it off. And I think a lot of times we do that in our business, where we avoid truly goal setting with someone, or we avoid coming to the meeting because we know we're going to get that dose of reality that we just don't want to admit to ourselves. So don't let that hold you back, you guys. Switch your script. I am going to start believing I'm not a clutter rat. I'm going to start believing that I can do this, and start visualizing what that means. So do that in your business too. Switch your script, whatever you're telling yourself, switch your script. And then finally, you guys, one of the biggest things that holds us back from showing up and staying connected is a lack of clarity, where we want to be in this business and what our goals are. And if you're somebody who's been in this business for a while, it may be time to reconnect with your why and to really honor it and understand that it is possible for you. Maybe you're brand new in this business and you don't know why you're starting this. You just love the products. Reconnect with your why. Talk to your upline about getting connected, because if you don't have that why, you're not going to have that push to get you over your fear or your laziness or your pride and ego or your apathy. You're going to be stuck without that motivation. So talk to your upline in a really honest way. Say, hey, I really want this Arbonne thing to work for me. I'm ready to get to the next level. How can you help? What can I do to change to get there? But be prepared, you guys, to back up your talk with action. Get into activity. It's definitely not clutter at Lynette is asking what's the name of the book. If somebody, I'll type it up later, because it's still on my nightstand, yet to be read. So just start showing up, you guys, with consistent effort and belief. Consistency, despite the ups and downs. Ask any VP where they've gone through crazy ups and downs, but did the do anyway, showed up anyway. That's the kind of thing. If you just take that little bit of action and you're decisive and you know what you're looking for out of this business and you know why you're here, and you just start showing up and getting into activity and following the recipe, you will be surprised who starts following you and the amazing organization that you're going to build. So that's it about staying connected. I love that we're connected this way. And I'm going to turn it back over. Yes, Marie Kondo. That's the name of the author. I'm going to turn it back over to Miss Jill, who's doing another training for us.
Hey y'all. All right, so I'm back. And this training is having a no matter what attitude. No excuses. And I'm like, ooh, I like this one because that's what I had. And since they want to start my business, May 24th, 2017, that's what I had, y'all. And I look at, so, you know, if you were in DC and you heard me speak, we had to give one tip as a new MVP. And mine was to jump all in. And if you want to conquer an island, what do? You know, you burn the boat you are on. You either conquer or you die. There is no option B. There is no out. There is no retreating. And that's the way I looked at my business. When I started, I was like, okay, you know, I looked at the getting started stuff. I asked Blair questions that I couldn't find myself. And I took it upon myself to grow my business and fill up my calendar and do that month after month after month with a no matter what excuse. Because my family's livelihood depended on this business. Arbonne was it for us. And that was it. So by adopting a no matter what attitude, we are making progress towards our goals. When something is important to us, number one, we make time for it. That's just the truth. That's human nature. If binge watching Netflix is important to you, you're going to make time for it each and every night. But I looked at my calendar, and anything that didn't have to do with my husband, you know, he was the main source of income at the time when I started my business. His schedule went on the calendar. My family time went on the calendar. And then I took away all the stuff that didn't support my dreams and my goals for my family. And I filled it up with Arbonne. And I filled it up a lot with Arbonne. So anyways, we have to have this type of attitude and go after it with all we have. Go big or go home kind of energy. Majority of people make excuses. They complain or they blame others, or they're talking to their upline or downline or sideline, whatever you want to say. But at the end of the day, you don't even need an upline in this business. You need a success line. You need to duplicate yourself and show people how to do this business and show people how to change their lives and change other people's lives. You know, we have access to all these resources. Even if you weren't even in Carlita's success line, you can go on her YouTube station and watch all her trainings and get it started. So, but joining this blamer bandwagon will put you in a position where you cannot grow. And what we need to practice is becoming responsible. When you become responsible, you won't make any excuses. And don't practice your brain to always justify you not taking action. You know, oh, you know, I have young kids, or all my college classes are so busy. Like, we're always just justifying us not taking action to grow our own business. Just keep telling yourself, it's my fault and I'll do it better next time. Becoming responsible doesn't mean that you'll shoulder all the burden. But what you need to take is in charge of all the things that are in line with your top priorities in life, the things that affect your core goals. We need to accept the fact that there are things in life that we cannot control, but we can actually do something about it. So trust me, you know, it's all about perspective, y'all. This is in life in general, not just Arbonne, but optimism, you know, perspective and optimism. And people who can alter perspective, being able to turn a bad situation, a negative situation, into something positive, you know, it's something money can't buy. That, you know, money can't buy it, but luckily it can be learned and it can be practiced. A no-lose attitude, a no excuses in your life, you know, it's a very slow process. You don't become an overnight, you become an overnight success over years. There is no such thing as an overnight success. You have to put in work each and every single day. And so if you don't have this no excuse attitude, you will come up with excuses to not put the work in, to take your life to where you want it to be. So what is stopping y'all? Well, you know, honestly, ask your, what is stopping you? Are you too tired? You know, did you not get enough sleep? You don't have enough time. What's stopping you right now? You are never given a wish without the power to make it happen, to make it come true. So the thing that is stopping you, honestly, is you and your mindset. Excuses sound best to the person making them. I know that might sound harsh. I swear I have a heart, but at the end of the day, I look at this business and it's so black and white to me. You either work it or you don't work it. But stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get off the pity potty and trying to get other people at your pity parties. Wake up. And, you know, it's to me, I'm like, it's game on, y'all. You have one life and you have such a huge vehicle in your hands to impact other people's. So take advantage of all the access and all the resources we have. Y'all, there is, you know, it kills me when I've hit a wall in my business. You are in like an acre of like 1 million acres of land. There is not a wall near you. Just turn the other way and find something. But if you want it, you have to go out and do something about it. Stop the lies in your head, the truth. If you have the time, you have the skill, you have the knowledge, the support, the willpower, the discipline to get it done. You truly do. And the fruit of everything good in life begins with a challenge. Everything that is uphill is worthwhile, y'all. And it's not going to come to you easy, and it's not going to fall in your lap, and it's not going to be, oh my gosh, it's so simple. I just happen to go nation. I just happen to go region. It's always going to be difficult. And if you want it, you have to go out and get it, y'all. This is your chance, your shot, your moment, your opportunity. You know, we literally only have today. We have one life. And that's later down in my notes. But if you have to just rise and grind. And it's just so crazy that we truly are relentless. And this isn't a game. And I've heard it before that nothing in Arbonne is life or death. And that's so true. You can call 1-800-ARBONNE and fix something. But in the long run, to me, this business is life or death because it was all my family had. It was the only option. It makes me shudder at the thought of my life, with my family's life without Arbonne in it. It literally makes me cry. And I'm not an emotional person, but when I talk about what this business has done for my family and my husband's mental health and the other people in my business, you know, my success line that has changed their life, I tear up. And it makes me shudder to look at my life without Arbonne in it, where we would be today. I have no idea. So that is life or death to me. And the biggest thing you'll ever fight is with yourself. The battle is never going to go away. Not when you get to nation. It's not all rainbows and butterflies up here. You've never arrived in this business ever. And as soon as you think you have, you just never have arrived. But the fight you'll have to battle is the rest of your life. You're the only person that can get yourself back up. You also are the only person that can lie back down. Don't allow yourself to be defeated. Every morning you have a choice. Are you going to be a positive thinker or a negative thinker? Positive thinking will energize you. But in life in general, fault and responsibility, they don't go hand in hand. If you were in a bad marriage or a bad childhood, that's not your fault. But it's your responsibility that you never go through that again. Your heart and your dreams and your happiness, it's your responsibility. It's not your downline. It's not your upline. It's not your sidelines. It's you and what you do with it. I want all of our lives, you want your life to mean something. If you are not making someone else's life better, you're wasting your time. That's just the truth. But when I first started, I looked at national vice president. I saw 160,000 and I was like, holy smokes. I looked at area manager and I thought 10,000 was, 17 years away. But when you look at a wall, it seems impossible. But when you just focus on just doing one brick at a time, one brick and one brick and one brick over weeks and months and working when no one else is watching, all of a sudden you have a wall. So to look at it like that, break it up. And most people don't live their dream because they give up. The truth is most people stop at their first failure. Successful people don't stop at their first. Their first failure, their first 10, their first 100, their first 1,000. And every single day you need to say, this is my goal. I will do whatever it takes to achieve. I will not quit until my dream is reality. And that's the difference between success and failure in this business. You have to get comfortable with failure. And that's where all lessons are learned. And when you work out in the gym and you're lifting weights, you're breaking your muscles down to the point of failure. And that's when adaptation happens. And all of a sudden your body can't do it, but it makes an adjustment and you can do it. Practice is controlled failure. I was a college athlete and we practiced way more than we ever played in games. It was controlled failure. We were working the kinks out. Do your in-home events. Practice your I story. Just do it ugly until you get really good at it. And I still do it ugly. I'm the most awkward person you will ever meet. But anyways, fail early, fail often, fail forward. And you have to take the shot, you guys. Live on the edge where you are almost certain you're failing and stop caring what other people think. And honestly, having this know what attitude of not caring what other people think, your life will be so much better because I just don't care and it's awesome and you just are so much happier. So now I'm going to wrap it up and next up is Beth and Tammy.
Thank you, Jill. That was awesome. Okay, so I'm going to talk about cold market touches. And these are people you personally don't know. For some, it's natural, and for others, it's pretty frightening. First of all, relax. Look at the call on the call today, and you will see many said yes. And you guys, your yeses are out there if you just ask. We can give you story after story of how many of us didn't know our sponsor before Arbonne. Beth Gallardi met Carlita at a party. Ann Schellenbach met Beth Lomas because Ann saw Beth's husband at a T-ball game and introduced Arbonne to him first, then met Beth. You guys, I met a car hop that joined my business, and I personally didn't know her, and that's how I met my first MVP, Sherry Nickel. I had a cousin in Alaska I hadn't spoken to in years, gave me a referral back in Oklahoma, and this referral will produce my next MVP. You guys, I could go on and on and on. Most on here were cold touches. You will never run out of people to talk to when you master this. Your problem is not a shortage of people to talk to. It's having the confidence, courage, and learning how to approach a cold market. And we get this by partnering with someone out and about. Have you ever thought about taking another consultant with you and just going out and about and practicing, role playing, and simply just doing it and not expecting perfection? You guys, nobody's perfect in this business. My before Arbonne, you guys, I was comfortable being to myself. I didn't like being vulnerable, but I had no choice. Ask yourself crucial questions and be honest. Really know your situations. Our whys need to be in the forefront. Study the opportunity. You guys, this will help you build courage. You must work on fear of talking to things you want to succeed in our industry. I want to say that again. We must work on the fear of talking to strangers if you want to succeed in our industry. Next, you guys, make mistakes to be great. People don't know when we make a mistake anyway. Keep in mind, if you don't share this incredible gift, then someone else will share with them. Someone else will share with the people that you're afraid to talk to. You may as well be the one to share with them. Find small links in life, and of course, listen. Listen to learn. There are many books to help you with this. Yes, there's many books, but don't just read it. Do it and apply it. You guys, this is key to building on what you learn from these books, right? In the book 4 Color Personalities of MLM, and I think the guy's name was Tom Schreiter, you will learn how our opportunity personally would help appeal to someone. Here's a quote from John Maxwell's book, Everyone Communicates Via Connect, which we're about to start on the book club soon. Here's his quote: if you're going to connect, people need to know you understand them. Another quote from Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. She says, I quote, the only way to get rid of fear of doing something is to go out and do it. Just like Nike says, just do it. And the great hockey player, think about what Wayne Gretzky says. He says, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Think about that. Got to take the shots, you guys. Most importantly, be you. Be genuinely interested in the person you're sharing with. And remember, people don't know our Arbonne language. I know we kind of talked about that before, but I want you to really think about this. They may not even understand what freedom, time, and flexibility is because they have not considered it an option. People don't think about those things because they don't think it's even an option for them. How does it relate to their life? You guys, think about when you hear someone say, I'm tired of my job. Then really go into what flexibility means with Arbonne, what this could mean for them, meaning you may never have to punch a clock again, right? So make sure you really dive into what this could mean to them, because if we just go and graze over freedom, time, flexibility, that could go through one ear and out the other like it did for me prior to me really needing this business. Put yourself in their shoes. You guys, the goal is to turn our cold market contacts into a warmer market. It can take more effort and time to build relationships. We have to stay in touch. You guys, follow up, as we've already talked about, is crucial. Don't shut down with a no. You guys, if I hadn't followed up in my business, I wouldn't have the business I have today. It takes follow-up. You should always ask, who do you know that would like to make extra income or needs to replace a corporate level income? Just a second here, I may be lost. They may not say yes, but now they know you are a committed consultant, and that's very important for your business. People go through many stages in life where they need changes. They need a change. So you guys, that's why we must stay in touch and we must follow up. Another thing is we must have conversations, talk to people. You guys, our 40 Faces document is fantastic, but make sure they're conversations. Typically, something I typically do, you guys, is I hand someone my business card. This kind of helps take the wheel down for me. I believe it may be Jillian Rainey. You're unmuted. I don't want to call you out or make you feel bad, but sometimes we don't know we're unmuted. But I hand on my business card and I say, and like I said, it takes the wall down for me. And I say, do you mind if I give you my information? You might be interested in doing what I do. You guys, I'm doing this while I'm handing my card. I have mastered this, and you guys, I'm totally comfortable with it. That's what I've mastered for me. So find out what works for you. And after we've chatted a bit, after I've chatted a bit with them and I've taken my card, I say, may I have your contact information in case you lose my card? Because if you're interested, I surely wouldn't want to miss this opportunity to be the one to help you. You guys, if you're not, and then I'll also say, and if you're not interested, there's no worries. Next, we are always meeting people as we go about our day. I had to force myself to get out and talk to people. Restaurants, stores, banks, kids, connections, spouses, or friends connections. You guys, and I always said, who do you know? My why was huge. So here's an example: sitting on a plane, making small talk and listening to opportunities, dropping points of interest. You guys, sometimes we just get on a plane, we get our book, and we hope someone, you know, that we don't want to have to talk to sits down by us because we don't want to talk. We want to put those headphones in and we want to stay in our own lane, right? You guys, we have to work on opening up ourselves to talk to people and ask questions. It's not going to hurt you. You may never see them again anyway, but what if, right? So the next thing, when people tell you no to all funnel method touches, be proud you introduced someone else to Arbonne and that you just advertised for your business. Think about that, because all conversations are advertisement for your business. We never know who, where, why, when, or how someone will be led to our business, or our conversations will lead us to someone in the future. As I said almost 17 years ago in my Eye on Arbonne story, our mouth is our office, and if it's closed, you're closed for business. It's it. You guys, our cold market or warm market or any market takes courage. You will never get rid of fear. We all have it. We all have fear. Let me see here. Nothing is ever accomplished unless you do something. Courage gives you the power to do something. So let me see here. You know what, you guys, the cold market, it builds courage. Courage will get you started. It will get you walking through the door, as John Maxwell says. On the other side of courage is the promised land. The best things for you aren't on this side of courage. It's through the door. Through the door, you will find the yeses of life. It's on that side you find the promises of life. It's on that side you find the benefits of life. You guys, you have to pay the price. Make mistakes, and I've made many. Say the wrong things before you get the goods. My husband says every time you share Arbonne is a positive. You will either develop a customer or you will be getting good practice for the next opportunity. How many positives have you missed by not getting out of your comfort zone? How many times have you sat on the plane and stayed in your between those bars on the seat, right? And you stayed in your comfort zone. You might have missed the most incredible opportunity of a lifetime. You guys, open the door. The door is your mouth, and your mouth is your business. Have as many conversations and tell the stories as much as you possibly can each day. You will find the rewards because you went through that door of courage. So I hope this helps you guys. And I want to turn it over to Beth Gallardi again. Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy. That was awesome. Okay, guys, so I want to spend a few minutes just chatting about the season that we're in. So we know we're rolling into November. Today's November 2nd. I hope you all register for GTC already. If not, I know you'll be doing it today. But I want to talk about, because I think to some people, it's kind of like the elephant in the room. They're thinking, especially if you're newer, I mean, this is my 16th or 17th holiday, 16th, I think, holiday in Arbonne. And I always have a great big business this time of the year. So I promoted to regional vice president on December 1st. I promoted to national vice president on, I'm just checking my time really quick, national vice president on November 1st. So I love this time of the year. And so I want to chat with, just to give you guys a couple of facts and also some tips on how to make the most of November rolling into December. So guys, we all know the 30-day rule, right? We're reading in my VP book club this amazing book called Fanatical Prospecting, and he talks about the 30-day rule, and it's something that we're all familiar with. But he said, if you ever wonder what's wrong with your business, you got to apply the 30-day rule. Where was your business 90 days ago? So what we do in this next group of 30 days, and November's great because it has 30 days in it, will help build the next 31, and then we'll help build our 90 days. So we can always take a look back 90 days beyond or before to see if we're not happy with where we're at right now. All we gotta do is look 90 days before to see where we were. That's the 30-day rule. So we want to implement the 30-day rule this month and go gangbuster balls to the wall. I always tell my team, and I did learn that balls to the wall is not a bad thing to say. It's not what some people think. Okay, I always tell my team, throw spaghetti on the wall. We're going to do whatever we can to get as much activity as we possibly can so that we reap the benefits in these 30 days. And that will build December and January and so forth. So we got to start the 90 days. So Why now? Why get your business started with everything you've been learning in such a way today? Well, first of all, we have 10 paychecks, 10 more paycheck opportunities before Christmas Day. The 24th, which was Christmas Eve, it would be our 10th paycheck we can receive with commissions and overrides. Guys, I mean, that's powerful. Like, who else can we share with to let them know how many paychecks they can get if they start a business today? I might be counting the one that's coming. I can't remember. But why not start? Folks are in a shopping mood this time of the year. Did you guys know that Bath & Body products are the #1 thing that are sold during the Christmas and holiday season? Bath & Body products. So if that's the #1 thing being sold, I'm thinking my store needs to be open all the time, right? Because you know what? Macy's, Target, I mean, we get into a period of time where these places are open 24 hours, right? Because they know that's smart. They know they've got to do that. Our office or our store is in a different setting, but really it's all about our mouth being open and sharing, and scheduling activity is where it goes. But this is a doozy one, and this is the reason why we want to be offering the opportunity to anybody and everybody today during this time of the year. Last year and the year before, an estimated 700,000 Americans went and got a part-time job to help pay for Christmas. Guys, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people who are going to go deliver pizzas or go work at a department store or go work at Target part-time, whatever it might be. And we can offer them a better way with an Arbonne opportunity. I will tell you that this time of the year, mindset is key. Mindset's key. We've heard so much about mindset. I don't really need to say much of that. But if you think Arbonne doesn't work right now, if you think like, oh, Thanksgiving's at the end of the month. You guys, Thanksgiving's one day. And I love Thanksgiving and I love giving thanks and gathering with family, but it's become so commercialized today that most people don't really look at it as like a special holiday anymore because they're going shopping that evening on Thanksgiving. I've had gals on my team who've literally done a foot spa with their family and cousins and stuff who had never tried Arbonne before. And they were asking questions and like, well, we could do a spa party right here on Thanksgiving evening. So it's all about mindset. If you have school teachers in your business, they have the whole week off, like challenge them to get something booked every day but Thanksgiving because that's the time they have the week off. I also have great presentations the weekend after Thanksgiving. And I know it's really close to the end of the month, but everybody's, like I said, in a shopping mood. Have some spa events for Black Friday. This is a way to relax after they went shopping in the morning. I've done those before. I've had lots of great ones, but just remember Thanksgiving and Christmas Day are one day. And on your job, how many days off does your boss give you? Maybe they give you Thanksgiving and Friday, maybe they don't, maybe it's just the one day, but most people, it's just the one day that we get off. And so it's really mindset. In my mind, this is the way I'm thinking. Oh my gosh, everybody loves to gather this time of the year. People love to have their friends and family over. I forget who shared it the other day. I think it was Sherry Nickel. Or no, it was Kim Lee Spilled was talking about how if you're reading our book club call, the Blues are folks who like to party and have fun. And so who are all the blues in your life? Ask them first. Say, I'm scheduling some fun events over the holidays, and I knew you'd be the first one because you love having friends and family over. So think about folks who are blues. Think about folks, it doesn't even just have to be specifically blues, but in my mind, that's what I'm thinking is everybody loves to get together. Everybody wants to try my products. People want to use my products for Christmas presents. And so that's where my thought process is. And so that will help in changing your mindset. And guys, I promise here's a couple of tips. Stop analyzing things, stop overthinking things, and just leap into this holiday season. We truly do have to stop telling the lies we've told ourselves. We've already heard this, kicked out. Say no to yesterday and say yes to today. But let your VP know. We've gotten lots of action steps today. Let your VP know that you're ready to apply the 30-day rule and get this holiday season started off in such a strong way. Historically, we see, in our business on December 1st, we have a special announcement that comes from Arbonne about something happening in 2020. And so having a killer November will grow and build into that. Having an awesome November gives us those great paychecks as well. And so these are all the reasons why we want to grow it. And I'm not even mentioning your whys. Like our why should be the biggest thing that drives us to work. I'm just sharing with you why this time of the year is a fun time of the year to be growing your business. I want to show you guys something and I'm going to wrap it up. This document is on Carlita's website. So carlitanelson.com, password is Arbonne, and we all know that. go to the all documents section, and this is called Go Big this month. And this is something I train on every single year, because you can print it out, and you can, what I would challenge you to do is print it out and fill it out, use it for your November activity and use it for your December activity. And quite honestly, you could use it every month of the year, but I'll give you an idea of what this has on it. So the first thing is looking for at least 5 people to join your business. So at least 5 people that you're going to be coaching into the business this month, and helping them to hit, I mean, obviously we're going to paint big vision with area manager and so on, district manager at least, or that 2,500. And then also you're looking for 5 people who, the people, like the first one is your dream team. The next one is those people that you've heard them say, I really do need Arbonne. Maybe they're looking for extra Christmas money, whatever it might be. We're looking for 10 people to get on the healthy living program. The next thing is, you know, who are those people that you want to gift Arbonne from, and from your own mall. And guys, if you're not shopping from your own mall for gift giving, whether it be baby showers, bridal showers, birthday parties, all the different teacher gifting, all of that. If you're not shopping from your own mall, you need to. Why not shop from your own mall? Just like we heard with selling, it helps to build up a customer, and that's what we're looking for. Who are 10 guys that you can help do their shopping for them through the holiday season? And then the other thing, guys, are who are those people, like at least 10 to 20 people that you know, like I said, love to open in their homes, and who are 10 people that you can think of. And of course, this number, I'm just saying 10 because that's what it has on here. It's going to take more than just 10, but it gives you a start. But who are also 10 people that you know love to give to charity? So this time of the year, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I will do Party with a Purpose events. And basically what this is I will donate either all of my commission or a portion. And even one gal I was talking to, because I just really believe in her cause, I told her I would double, or I would match the commission. I know not everybody can do that. It was just on my heart to do, was to match the commission that we make at her presentation. And you don't have to do that because the commission is enough. But those are great too. And you let people know that I see that you're into charity. I see that you love to give to this. I would love to offer something up to you. I only do this time of the year. You know, it's the giving and grateful season that we have. I'm wondering if you would be interested. And what I'm going to do is donate such and such of my commission to your favorite charity. And guys, what happens is those folks who are super passionate about what they're doing and the charity that are involved are going to work overtime to get people there, because, you know, the bigger the presentation, and when all those people know that whatever they're purchasing goes towards something good, you have a higher chance of sales, but also finding business partners and more bookings, and of course preferred clients. And so guys, as I close out, I want to encourage you to not discount the season that we're in. If you think Arbonne doesn't work during the holidays, you're right if you keep telling yourself that. But if you believe and trust what we're saying, that you can literally light your business on fire and create a momentum like you've never seen in your business before, you can. Trust me, believe us. It's real and it works. We just have to have that mindset that Jill Lyons was talking about and so much others. So I am excited to introduce our next 2 trainers, Heidi Sau, got it right now. I feel so bad, Heidi, and Sherry Nickel.
Okay, I think I get to go first. We were going to go back and forth, but we're like, for time's sake, we're just going to, can you hear me okay, Beth?
Yes,
I think
yes, you're good.
Okay, awesome. But for time's sake, we're just going to swap back whenever we're done. So our topic was on qualities of a VP. And you guys, this was a hard one to narrow down. So this is what I have. And it's kind of a few things jumbled together. But honestly, the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of the word VP, or like becoming a VP, is this, that a VP is a vision painter. And so in order to become a VP, or in order to thrive as a VP, or normally if you're working towards VP, one of the key qualities you'll see is that VPs know how to paint vision. And whether that's for how to go to the next level, what is possible for you in your whys, because they've seen the big picture, they can now paint the big picture. And I really think some people struggle with painting the big picture because they struggle to see the big picture. And so getting the big picture of not just what you have accomplished in your business, because you can go VP so fast if you can catch that vision of what's possible, not just for yourself, but what is possible for your entire organization or for anyone that has a dream that's big enough or has something that's worth fighting for. And so I think one of the biggest tips with becoming a great vision painter is knowing that it's not about you. It's not just about you, because obviously it's partly about us and what we have, you know, what our whys are and what we're doing. So vision painting for yourself of knowing like, okay, this is where I know is possible to go. This is what and not just what is possible based off of your excuses or whatever, but just what is possible in Arbonne. And I'm the kind of person that I like to find the worst case scenario story out there of someone who had you know, 5 kids, was a single mom, like the worst case scenario, worked 2 jobs plus nighttime daycare. And I'm like, if she did it in 9 months, I can do it too, because then it takes all of your excuses away. And so becoming that vision painter, and I think as far as VP, like it's so easy for us as consultants to be so focused on our own whys. And no matter what level you are, it can be so easy to get focused internally in what we need to be doing. And sometimes it's hard to put the focus on others. And for me, I would say one of the areas that I struggled in the most that really made a significant shift in my leadership growth was learning to not coach people based off of myself. So what I mean by that is learning not to coach people based off of, because I'm a yellow blue, I guess. So I want to have fun, but I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, and I want to make sure everyone's comfortable. And so, but what I've learned is in order to help people grow, a lot of times there's going to be discomfort. And if you're not having discomfort, then you're not growing. And these people's lives, like they have been placed into our organization for us to speak truth to them, not just like, oh, you're doing great, whenever they might not be doing great. And so learning how to speak truth, but with mercy, is what I have found. And so speak truth, but make sure it's coupled with mercy, because then there's the other extreme where it's like, well, I'm just telling them how it is because they just need to hear it. And one of my favorite leadership books is the Bible, because I feel like Jesus was such an amazing leader. And one of the things that the Bible says is that Jesus grew in wisdom, Jesus grew in stature, and Jesus grew in favor with God and man. And I really believe that. So I started looking at that because there is another scripture that says, where is it at? Proverbs 3. It's one of my favorite scriptures, and it's right before, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Right before that, he says, let not mercy and truth forsake you. And so bind it around your neck, write it on the table of your heart. And so will you find favor in the sight of both God and man. And in this business, I feel like that is a good thing to find, is favor with God and man. And it comes with mercy and truth. Like, people need to know they can trust you, and people aren't going to trust you if you're not speaking truth to them. But if you're not being merciful, no one's going to want to be around you. And so speaking truth, painting vision, do it with mercy and truth. And I feel like that's going to be significant. And the last thing I wanted to say is just that VPs, I put focused on growth, but really I think it's focused on leading yourself to growth, because you can't lead the masses until you lead yourself well. And what I have found is, honestly, I've struggled most as a VP because I got in my own head thinking that to lead the masses, I must have all these things in order. And in truth, there are a lot of things that do need to get in order. And I think sometimes we think Arbonne is stressing us out, but I think what happens is that Arbonne pushes us to become the best versions of ourselves. And so one of the key things I feel like to leading ourselves well as a VP is evaluation. Like, where am I at? Not just evaluating your Arbonne business, because in order for your business to run well, I will tell you, people who struggle in their business, oftentimes when we start doing digging in a little bit, it's normally because the marriage is struggling, your parenting is struggling, your home is in disarray. A lot of times our businesses will struggle when other parts of our life are in disarray. And if we want to grow to the level that we can not feel like, we feel like, oh, well, Arbonne's making me so stressed out. No, it's probably most of our other parts of our life that are making us stressed out. And Arbonne just feels like the added thing. But what I have found is Arbonne has pushed me. I was not naturally organized. I'm Tornado by nickname. My room was always a disaster. My parents didn't make me pick it up, and so it was always a tornado. Sorry, got a phone call that came in. And so anyway, learning to evaluate what are the areas of my life that need to be cleaned up. And one of the things that I learned is often when we tend to feel overwhelmed, then we tend to distract. And so distraction, one of the things that really stuck out to me is distraction. How can you distract from something if you don't already have a plan? So the opposite of distraction is not focus. The opposite of distraction is traction. It's gaining traction. And if we're not gaining traction, then most of the time it's because we're distracting. And so the other thing is when we are distracting, it normally only stems from two things. And the two things are either blame or shame. We're either blaming our circumstances, we're blaming our marriage, we're blaming our kids, we're blaming Arbonne, or we're shaming. Like, I'm such a loser. I can't believe I didn't make those 3 phone calls. And we live in this perpetual place of shame, which causes pain. And the natural human tendency is to avoid pain. So, like if we had a no when we picked up the phone, then we're not going to want to pick up the phone again because it caused pain and we don't like pain. So then we distract. And so distraction is just a way that we avoid pain. And we normally are either blaming or shaming. Like if you find yourself distracting, it's normally, are you a blamer or are you a shamer? And so if you are one of those overwhelmed, distracted people, like I have struggled, I ask myself, what am I avoiding? Why am I avoiding it? Am I shaming or am I blaming? And then kick it in the rear. But in order to lead the masses, we must lead ourselves well. So figure out your priorities. For me, it's myself. It's my spiritual life. It's my physical life. No one else can take care of my physical life, and no one else can take care of my mental health. So those are the 3 areas. Am I taking care of me? And once you're done taking care of you, and you're not taking care of you last, you take care of you first, because you have to have something to offer to others, your family, your kids, your everything. And we are one person. And so we must first take care of ourselves, not last. And then the second part is my marriage. If my marriage isn't healthy, it doesn't mean that I'm constantly balanced in every area. Balance is a myth. But my marriage. The next is parenting. Like, my kids are a priority to me. What does it profit anyone if you gain so much with Arbonne, but you lose everything else? And so getting detailed with what is important, what am I going to do to grow in this area? Parenting. My next one for me is my personal business. So am I growing in this area or am I slowing? And you can apply all of this stuff, the overwhelm. Why am I overwhelmed? Am I distracting? Most of the time we're only overwhelmed in our head. If we get it on paper, it's not that overwhelming. So that's why the evaluation, like 15 minutes of evaluation will save you 2 hours every day. 15 minutes will save you 2 hours. So just mark that one, evaluate, make a list of what's important in all your priorities, and work towards progress. You guys, it's not perfection, because then you can go into the shame again, and it's progress. And then the very last one is my personal business, is my team, my business. And then I added one, which is my home. Cecilia Stoll said that if your closets are crazy, then that's probably an indication that your life is crazy. And I'm like, oh, shoot. So I have hired people. I have put whatever in place I've simplified, I've gotten rid of stuff, because I want to be intentional with the things that are most important. And if there's things that are not important, figure it out and lead ourselves well. So, okay, I know I went over a couple minutes. So Heidi, I'm turning it over to you.
That's okay. Thank you. It's so good. And I will just shorten mine a couple minutes. So a couple more qualities of a VP is, I think a VP takes ownership. And a couple different areas that a VP takes ownership. So a couple of things that I always try to keep in mind, and you've all heard it before, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. So I think sometimes we tend to pass the torch to other people in 2 different areas. We pass the torch in our whys, and we pass the torch in our growth. And so what that looks like is really, a VP takes into consideration their whys, takes full ownership and responsibility, and says, nope, nobody else is going to take care of this, and this. So are your whys so strong that you can't pass the torch to achieve those whys, to accomplish them to anybody else? I think we also tend to pass the torch in our growth. Like, well, I will have my this percentage growth this month if so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so, if they go ahead and just do what they need to do and when they accomplish their goals. And so don't pass the torch fully to people on your team. Now, you can't go region by yourself. You can't go nation by yourself. But I will tell you, the next point is rebuild before you need to. So rebuild your business before you're forced to. And here's how you do this. You need to know the pulse of your business. You need to have the heartbeat of your business down pat and have a realistic perspective. And what I mean by that is, if you say to me, Heidi, I want to grow from 10 to 15,000 from September to October. Nope, October to November. I would say, okay, so that's 5,000. But do you know you're not just going to have to grow 5,000? In your mind, you need to say, not everybody in my team all at once will experience growth. So you as a leader have to take ownership and overcompensate for where some people fall back. So if you want to grow from 10 to 15, you actually in your mind, instead of growing by 5,000, you need to probably realistically grow by 8,000. And that looks like, let's say 3 to 4 more people on your team in your organization. But then don't pass the torch and say, well, I think she's getting someone started. How about you be on a mission to get 3 or 4 people started? And by leading by example, your team will follow suit. So don't pass the torch for growth. Know the pulse of your team. Also with that is a VP works in actions and not words. So I hope and want for people to hit the things that they're saying, but I do not keep all of my eggs in that basket. Because if I do, what that's doing is opening up the door for frustration. And you should never have an ounce of frustration with one single person on your team. Not one. Because if they said that they're going to do 2,500 and they do 500, that's 5 more hundred than you had to do yourself, right? So you have an abundant mindset when you take ownership and responsibility and you overcompensate for finding people in activity. And, you know, sometimes I hesitate to say this because it makes me sound like a hard nose, but I'm certain I've heard someone else say it, is dips do not have to be normal. So we say it's normal. It's normal to dip in your business. It really does not have to be, especially as you're growing from consultant to regional vice president, because you will bring people on faster than they fall off. Somebody who's doing this in their organization, what that tells me is they're bringing on people the same amount of time that other people are falling off. So you just have to learn to do just a little bit more, just a little bit more. A VP, along with taking ownership, they know what to do and then do it. Proverbs 31, I think it's like 16 or 17, it says she considers a field and she buys it. It doesn't say she considers and then she hems and haws and then she talks to her friends about it and then she does this and then eventually she buys it. It's like she's confident that she knows what to do in order to get the job done. And all of you know what to do to get the job done. So don't hem and haw, consider and do. And then the last point of qualities of a VP is, couldn't think of a professional term for this. So they don't easily get their undies in a bundle. That is the quality of a VP, or panties in a wad if you live in the South. And what I mean by that is, the longer you're in this business and have the right mindset and perspective, it's going to take more to get you cranky about your business. It's going to take more for you to have a setback. Pretty soon, when you have the right mindset, when you have somebody who says, I'm not going to do the business, you don't feel for a second sorry for yourself, you feel sorry for them. When somebody cancels a party or wants to reschedule, instead of getting all uptight because your dates have changed, you take them into their feelings and their situation into consideration, and you just put it on the calendar at a later date. If your products are back ordered or Arbonne's messed up your order 10 times, you're like, they're going to get it right eventually. Arbonne always makes things right, right? If your upline makes you cranky, well, you're going to make somebody cranky someday yourself. And so you need to give grace to the people in your upline, because they're not going to do everything perfect, and nor will you. So just remember that. So it takes more to get us down. And if they get down, they pop back up quicker. And how do you pop back up quicker? My husband and I, we were on our way to, I don't know, we've been on so many road trips lately. I think we were on our way to Chicago a couple weekends ago. And he was talking about like one of his themes in life right now. And it's a verse in Romans 12:2. And it says, don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And if you break down that verse, and first you look at, don't be conformed to the world. Let's just use this in Arbonne terms. Do you know it's normal to be negative? It's normal to be entitled. I mean, that's what we're seeing culturally. It's normal to want things to get, people to hand things to you. So don't conform to that pattern, but be transformed. And I was talking to the girls downstairs. I don't see them on here, but they're down there. About how when my kids were little, my boys are 17 and 18 right now. And when they were little, they had these transformers that would literally change from like a superhero to a truck or a policeman to a motorcycle. It is brand new. It becomes brand new. And you all can become brand new with your mindset by renewing it every single day to take ownership and control of your attitude, and then that transforms into taking control of your attitude and your actions. So those are a couple tips. They take ownership, and don't get your undies in a bundle too easily. And so I want to say that I have the privilege of introducing, am I right that Beth Lomas is next?
I am.
The Executive National Vice President. I know we're not supposed to do introductions, but one of my dearest friends and mentors, Beth Lomas.
You are so sweet. You are so sweet. Well, I am excited to spend and kind of be the last big trainer of this amazing day. I think, I don't know if I can see myself. Can y'all see me? I hope somebody can see me. Give me a thumbs up. I see Tim Higginbotham. So, okay, everybody can see me. Okay, I'm just going to jump into this because I have 15 minutes, and I cannot wait to pour into you guys in talking about, this was one of the very first probably trainings that I ever had in the beginning of my business. And I remember just letting it, my this is going to die, please say it's not. And hearing this and it just changing my heart. And for those of you that this is like your first big training, and this has been an amazing, amazing, crazy day of awesome training. Everybody has been amazing. I have been taking notes in my notebook, like pages and pages and pages all day. But I'm excited to pour into you about 3 key things that, as you're taking all of this in, that you have to walk through every ounce of your Arbonne business with attitude, belief, and commitment. And the very first time I ever heard kind of this training, it resonated with me, and it's absolutely one of my absolute favorites. So I'm so thrilled to be sitting and sharing a little bit with us. So I'm going to talk first and dive into attitude first. And guys, attitude is insanely, insanely important. It is how you view and how you do everything. The crazy thing is that it's the most important thing we do, but it's the easiest thing for us to push aside because we let life and circumstances and stuff happen to us, and we let that change the way we behave. And one of the things that I love to do in the morning, first thing that I do when I get up, and honestly, actually, even before I get out of bed, as I am laying there, is just sitting in gratitude. But when you sit in gratitude, it changes your attitude. And when you're sitting there, because we all have stuff, y'all, nobody is exempt of stuff in life and circumstances that aren't great and things that are going on that we don't enjoy, that we don't like. But we have the choice to rise above, and we can sit in it, and you can sit and throw yourself a pity party and carry that around all day long and be kind of like, have this black cloud over you all the time. So I truly believe what you think about, you bring about. But when you focus, even in the middle of hard, when you sit and you focus on the good and you focus on gratitude, it completely changes your attitude and the way that you do life, and honestly, the way you do business. And so many times, we're so busy when we're starting our day with getting ourselves together, doing our hair, doing our makeup, checking our clothes, making sure everything is check. You got your little list running in your head, but y'all, we don't check our attitude. And so the biggest thing that I want to challenge you on is, I've heard this for years, sometimes we need to give ourselves a checkup from the neck up and really check ourselves, because here's the thing, our attitude is what people see in us. And when we don't have a good attitude, we are not attractive to other people. And sometimes we don't even realize that. And we need some of those truth tellers that are in our lives to give us truth, to let us know exactly kind of where we're at and what we're projecting and what our attitude looks like. And sometimes your children are your best truth tellers, especially if they're teenagers, or maybe that's just my life. But I want you to also ask yourself, so much of our attitude stems from control. And I want you to ask yourself, do you feel like you're in control of your life, or is your life controlling you? And, even some of the things that Sherry was talking about just now, and giving yourself those mental checks of what am I overwhelmed with? Like Arbonne isn't overwhelming you, it's the rest of your life. And if you feel like you're not in control of your life and your life is controlling you, it's going to affect your attitude. And you can sit and say, well, all of these things are happening, all of these excuses, all this life, you can sit in that victim role. And like Heidi said, you can sit and blame other people and sit inside of that. Or you can sit and choose to rise above it and choose to claim victory instead of being a victim over it. And so a few ways to protect your attitude. Number one, first and foremost, is be aware of it. Be aware of it. Give yourself a checkup from the neck up. Be aware of how you are projecting yourself and how you look. And sometimes it's even just like when you're listening to somebody, it's just having a happy resting face. And sometimes a happy resting face leads to having a happy heart. And sitting there focusing on gratitude also helps with that. But honestly, being really aware of how you are projecting yourself, because y'all, you can be a hot mess on the outside, you can have dirty hair and dirty clothes, but if you have a great attitude, people want to be around that. People are attracted to that because there's so much stinking negativity in this world. So when you are that and you're abundant of that, you're aware that that's how you are or aren't, you can make a change over that. Number two, you need to own it. Like, stop blaming other people for how you're behaving. Like, this is your life. You're in control of you. You're not in control of the rest of the world, but you get to be in control of you. So be in control of yourself, and own where you're at. And if you're in like a bad, find a way to get yourself out of whatever you're thinking, you're stinking thinking. And sometimes that just takes a second of stopping and focusing on gratitude, pulling it all back in, but own where you're at and stop blaming it on your circumstances, because nobody is exempt of stuff. And here's the other thing, others don't get to decide your mood either. And there's going to be crankpots that you're going to run into in life. There's going to be roadblocks. There's going to be things that happen that aren't going to go to plan, that you're going to have to figure out how to maneuver around. But the way you respond, that's what you are truly in control of. So own it. Number three, when it comes to attitude, is to protect it. And here's the thing, y'all. We talk about this a lot in my family with my kids. And for any of you guys who have teenagers, the power of this is crazy. But even as adults, it's even just probably even more important as adults. But we teach this so much as teenagers. But you're a product of your environment. And we talk all the time in my house, misery loves company. So who are your top 5 people? And making sure that you are actively choosing to spend time around people that pour life into you and that lift you up, that encourage you, that empower you and equip you to be the best that you can be. Now, granted, there are going to be times in life that you are that person to somebody else. And, it was crazy because a couple years ago, I said Timothy was hanging around with some kids that I was just not really sure about. And you always say, and I looked at Timothy and I said, is this a top 5 person? He's like, Mama, it might not be, but I'm his top 5. I'm one of his top 5, and I'm improving his average. And so there's times that we are in situations that we are somebody else's top 5 so that we can pour life, and especially as VPs in this business, that is one of the big, awesome, amazing, beautiful responsibilities that we get to do. But also, every single one of us has to be aware of the top 5 people that you spend the most amount of your time with, because that's what's making you better and up in your ante. Like I always say, I never want to be the smartest person in the room. I always want to be sitting there and learning. And so it's always sitting to say, how can I improve the top 5 people that I'm allowing to pour into me? Because it's just like sitting there pouring, letting somebody, if you don't protect this, it's like letting somebody else with dirty shoes walk through your mind. So don't allow that. Protect it, as much as you possibly can, but protect where you spend your time and who you spend your time with, and choose to make sure that it's with people that are going to build you up and lift you up. And number 4 is improve it, y'all. And this is where like personal development, like this is one of my new books I'm reading, Leadership from John Maxwell, as well as the book I just threw in the back seat. Our next new book club for, Many Communicate But Few Connect, which I cannot wait. It's such a good book. I read it years ago and I cannot wait to read it again. But y'all, the way you improve it is by improving yourself. Leaders are made. They're not born. Nobody walks into this business as an ENVP in this business, but you have to work to improve it. And you do that through personal growth and development. And this way, when you sit and you're constantly working to improve yourself, when potholes and roadblocks of life happen and stuff happens, you're able to navigate around it because you have the tools, because you've worked to actively, consciously work to improve your attitude and correct it. Because there's times, all of us can sit, we just have to run across one cranky person, then all of a sudden you're like, crank. And honestly, my daughter can wake up on the wrong side of the bed and I'm in the middle of taking her to school and she's cranky in the morning and it makes me cranky. Now I can sit and decide to be cranky for the rest of the day, or I can be like, no, I'm not gonna let this affect me. I'm gonna send her off to school and tell her that I love her. And then I'm gonna sit and change my attitude so that the rest of my day doesn't go down the toilet first thing in the morning. But it's only after, years of working to improve it and continuing to know that I still need to improve it. So that's a few nuggets on attitude. And then the second thing is belief. And this is a biggie because belief, we hear all the time, belief has a sound. And Carlita said this before, and it is so stinking true. I wish so much, especially when I see somebody brand new in my business or somebody that is struggling, and that might be you. You might be sitting there like, yeah, I'm struggling, Beth. Like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'm cut out for this. I don't know if Arbonne is for me. I don't know if this is going to work for me. All of that little horrific narrative that runs through your brain. I wish I could pop into your brain and switch that shit, flip that switch, and change the way that you see yourself, and to turn that belief button on in your head. And the thing about this business is that, when you come into this business, and even when I first got started, I borrowed Anne's belief, I borrowed Heidi's belief, I borrowed, Carlita and Shelly's belief in me until I believed in myself. But y'all, this is the thing. I can only borrow that belief for so long. Because then as soon as I have somebody else in my business that I need to pour belief into as well, that I can sit and look at them and say, girl, no, you can do this. Like, let me show you. I'm going to teach you how, empower you and equip you how to do this. You can do this. But I can't do that if I'm only living off of my own borrowed belief. And, one of my favorite analogies, and I'm sure many of you have heard this, is kind of, is the car analogy. If my daughter comes to me and asks me, Mom, can I borrow your car? And I'm just going to, run to the store. And I'm like, sure, absolutely. Or I'm going to drive, here's my car keys. You can borrow my car. Well, if she gets to school and one of her friends says, hey, I don't have any lunch. Can I borrow your car to go get some lunch? Abby cannot give my car to another. She better not, but she can't give my car to somebody else. She can't do that. And it's the same is true for this business. So if you are right now, if you are sitting there and you are truly feeling like you are living on just borrowed belief, I want you to challenge yourself to grow your belief in yourself. And we have to have belief in 4 things. So we have to have absolutely, and belief in your business. but you have to have belief in 4 key areas. Number 1 is obviously the products. And guys, the biggest way to build your belief when it comes to the products is be a living testament of the products. You know, the more that you use, the more that you know that you know that you know that you love and eat, breathe, and sleep all things Arbonne. But, you know, and you're not going to sit and you're going to challenge, you know, if you don't love the mascara, you know, the more you use it, the more you'll love it. But you know what? The thing is that you have to be a product of the product. And that's going to also grow your belief, because the more you use it, the more you fall in love with it. You also have to grow your belief when it comes to Arbonne as a company, and knowing where Arbonne is going and knowing what all Arbonne is standing for. You know, when I first got started in this business 10 years ago, I knew nothing about Arbonne. I heard the name, but I didn't know anything about it. And I remember the very first event I went to, and I remember sitting there listening to Anne and listening to all of this stuff. I'm like, there's just no way that this could all be true. Like, this company is that great. But, you know, like, own how incredibly amazing Arbonne is and how clean we are and what we represent to everything out into this world. I mean, it is, I will tell you today, even 10 years later, and every single day, I feel like I get more and more proud in a good way to be a part of Arbonne and what Arbonne stands for as a company, what, you know, from our ingredients to everything that Arbonne is committed to. I mean, one of the things that I loved about GTC this last year that they were sitting and sharing is just how sustainable and globally wise and all that stuff that Arbonne stands for. But you grow your belief in Arbonne, grow your belief in this industry, you know, and this is a tough one, because a lot of people, you know, you tell them what you do and like, oh, so it's one of those pyramid things, right? And it's instantly like a zinger right into your belief. You're like, no, it's not, because pyramids are illegal, you know. And I'm like, you know what? Whenever I hear somebody say that, because that's a tough one, and that wrecks you a little bit. Every time somebody has a little bit of that little stigma, it wrecks you a little bit, and you're like, you know what? All I think to myself, and this I don't mean this like this as derogatory as it sounds, but I'm like, no, you're just ignorant. And I mean that in the fact that they just literally lack knowledge. But you know what the thing about it is that we can be just as ignorant when we refuse to get knowledge about our industry so that it can arm us. And one of my favorite books to arm you with knowledge of how to handle that conversation and be insanely proud of the industry that you're in is by just even GoPro. And, you know, there's a training that I did a while ago talking about belief in this industry. And y'all, this is the fastest growing industry out there. And it's bigger than literally the NFL and the movie making industry combined. Like, you think about how insanely large this industry is, and people who don't get it are just ignorant. And so arm yourself with information. And that's just a great book. But also to believe in yourself. You have to have belief in yourself. Oh, I gotta write this up. And that's just personal growth and growing yourself. And I just want you to remember, when it comes to growing the belief in yourself, is you are the lid for your business. And when you lack belief, you literally put a lid on your business. So growing yourself and your belief in yourself as a leader is absolutely massive. The third thing is commitment. And I'm gonna wrap up with this. Commitment comes from your heart, y'all. It is an inside job, and your commitment, and a lot of times people sit and say, you know, how can I want to be more committed to my business. And I'm like, then get more attached to the reason why you're here, because it is your commitment to what you want out of this business that keeps you committed to this business and to what you do every single day. As when you sit and, you know, so many times, you know, you talk to people and they're like, oh, well, you know, like, I want financial freedom and I want to do these big grandiose things. And, you know, because of Arbonne, I will tell you, some of the big grandiose things that I've been able to do have never, ever, ever, were not even on my beginning bucket list. They came about because I had the time and the space to follow some passions. But the thing about it is it was never there to begin with. In the beginning, it was real legit reasons. I needed to feed my family. I wanted to get my husband off the roof. Like, his body was physically wearing out. I was watching him get out of bed every single day, and some days on my back just to go to the bathroom. It wasn't an option to not build this business. When I sat and I watched him in pain, I was like, how dare you don't? And that's what commitment to this business looks like, is how dare you don't build this, because you have something sitting in, you have something sitting in front of you that's not negotiable. It's not an option. You know, instead of looking at, oh, well, You know, it'd be great if I had this and had that. I want you to think about what your life would look like if you didn't. If you don't build this business, what are you willing to settle for? And I'll tell you, as I sat and I watched my husband, I wasn't willing to settle for that. When I sat and I looked at my kids, and at the time my kids were 5 to 13, and y'all, our life was crazy. I had no time to build this business at all. But when I sat and I looked at my kids and I looked at the life that I wanted to give them, and I look at the life that they get to live today because of my commitment then, it was because I refused. It wasn't okay for me to not do this. And so when you look at your commitment, when you sit and you challenge yourself, you're like, I just want to be more committed. Dude, it's not about getting committed. Sorry, I didn't mean to like the dude thing, but like, it's not about being committed to your business. Be so insanely committed to why the heck you're here and what you are not willing to live without, and understand that that commitment will 100% make you uncomfortable because it's supposed to. There's nothing about this business that's easy, convenient, or comfortable ever. It's just not how it's going to do. It's not how it's going to go. Sorry, totally off my notes. Just got a little sidetracked there. But I want you to just remember this, and everything in this business, and honestly, everything that you have in life, it's all about commitment. And it's being committed to everything. It's being committed to every single relationship. And the thing about it is that sometimes the more committed you get in this business, it overflows into every aspect of your life. So everything in your life is a reflection of commitment or lack of commitment. So your business today is a reflection of your commitment thus far or lack of. So I want you to challenge yourself. When you think about commitment and you think about, this is what I want out of my business, I want you to get so insanely attached to why you are here and the reasons of what you want to, that are in your life today, that you absolutely want to change, that are not negotiable any longer. You are unwilling to settle for that anymore. And if you don't build this business, what is it going to look like? And to get to that point where I am absolutely unwilling to settle for that, that is not okay on my watch for me, and as well as any other family that's sitting out there, and be so insanely convicted about that. And it's gotta have a face. It's gotta have a name. It's gotta be real. It's gotta be concrete. And so if there's anything that you do when you get done with this, you know, as we sit and wrap it up, and I'm going to pass it back over to Beth, is I want you to reconnect. I want you to take a hot second. I want you to really, really dig deep and get really detailed of why you're here. Because like Nita always says, when you know the why, the how is easy, y'all. The rest will come. But you need to get really real with why you're here and what you're not willing to settle for in your life, and get really clear on what you know you want your life to look like, because this is the vehicle that will absolutely create it. So thank you for letting me share. I'll pass it back over to Beth.
Oh my gosh, Miss Beth Lomas, Beth Squared. That was amazing. Thank you so much. Gosh, that was incredible. And I love it when you go off notes. It's the best part. I love it. And then Carlita is going to say goodbye to all of us and help wrap up our day. And I know wherever you are, there's some fun things planned right after. So let me go ahead and share my screen, because some of you might not know much about, oh shoot, where is it? Hold on, guys. Let me see. Some of you guys might not know much about Arbonne and our founder. It is not giving me that option. Hold on. Let's see if I get this to work.
Selfish, yes. I wanted a place where, I've said this before, with my great grandchildren, whom I will never meet. Huh? They will never know me, but I do know that through Arbonne and through my life, they will perhaps be able to see my picture. And somehow I have a feeling that they'll know that I love them. I loved them like 200 years ago. Somehow I hope that they will be able to find out what I stood for, and that they will be able to understand some of the things that became fulfilled with Arbonne now, and between now and 200 years in the future. I kind of wanted a legacy. It's a selfish thing, but I wanted to become a kind of a legacy that could extend from generation to generation, because who am I? Dust soon. This too is something each and every one of you is creating through Arbonne. You do it. A business and a belief that can and will flourish from generation to generation.
The unity we seem to have in Arbonne about the ecological awareness that we are agreeing on being having be a part of us and the company. We can do so much for the environment when we are together and when we are aware of it.
I was born in Norway, little country, way up north in Europe. I was 27
years old when I first got into skincare. Faith brought me into it. It was a glorious accident.
In 1980, as Penner developed pure Swiss formulated skincare products in Arbonne, Switzerland, he had the audacity to think he could change the world.
Arbonne is the name of the city in Switzerland. The idea was born. Arbonne means a beautiful tree. I thought that was appropriate to name the product line after a beautiful tree. Got some guys together and brainstormed, and plan was made. Simple as that. We defined what quality should be. It should be pure, it should be safe, and it should be beneficial. In other words, active. It should do something.
Then Penner did more than dare to dream. He made his vision a reality and gave hundreds of thousands of people an incredible opportunity to do the same. Penner himself would consider it his greatest honor to have touched so many lives so profoundly.
When did I first realize that Arbonne was a success? It was a success the first time I had somebody tell me that our product had changed her life. As dramatic as that. And it was also the first time somebody came up to me in the organization and said that Arbonne and the opportunity being a part of Arbonne as a human being, as a professional, had changed that person's life. And now there are thousands telling me this. There are hundreds of thousands telling our consultants this. How can you not be happy? We know, I know now, that it's not going to be a few, it's going to be millions saying that to us in the future.
Hey guys, I'm really sorry that the video didn't work, but your leaders are going to be sharing that video with you. And I hope that that helped you catch the vision of what we came from, and just to remember that. And I'm going to turn the video over to Carlita as we wrap up.
Well, I'm just excited to be here and to wrap up the rest of this amazing day, and it will be just a second. But you guys, I just want to say thank you to all of our amazing leaders that I love so dearly, and I'm so proud to call myself one of your leaders, and just am so grateful for what you have done to pour into each and every life that is on here live and is going to get to watch this video, and use what it is that they learned from you today. You guys have been such a joy to watch, learn, and grow, and fight to develop into the person that you are to this day. And I know you're not done yet. And that's what I know everybody here on this call and this Zoom is doing, you guys, is you're working to become who you know and now believe you absolutely can be for your life, and then to turn around and help other people do that for their lives. And so I just want to say thank you and congratulations for investing this time into you, because when you invest time into you doing and working and growing, you are investing in something that is going to give you a return like nothing else that you will ever invest in will give you a return on. So I think it's cool that Petter is dead, you guys, from this world, but he lives on through his legacy, through each and every one of us and what we do. And if you notice in his video, he used the word flourish. And flourish is our word for GTC, which I love that word. And it is what we all have the opportunity to do with this vehicle. And it's what we have the opportunity to help others do with this gift whenever we share it with passion and commitment with our world that we get to touch and influence. So I hope that this day helps you all flourish in a big, big way, and that you commit to registering right now for GTC and not miss out on getting a spot, because it will sell out. And use this to go out and not just make a paycheck, you guys, but do what we do so well and use what you got today and will be getting on your journey to make a difference, because that's what we're here doing. Just like Petter's vision was for all of us, was to make a difference in our lives, and for us to now pay that gift forward and make a difference in others. And you will make a paycheck along the way, but it's not just a paycheck, you're making a difference. I love you all. Thank you for joining us and being with us. And again, thank you to all my amazing, wonderful leaders. I love you so much.
Is that her yellow side?
Huh?
Is that her yellow side? It comes out.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I'll say thank you. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, everyone.